Everywhere we look, there seems to be an air of boom surrounding various updated and upgraded technologies. Of late, the technologies have swiftly emerged as a game changing field, generating immense interest and excitement across different sectors. As we move into the future, the implication of these technologies are on society are bound to be significant. This conference dwells into the potential developments and the transformative power of engineering technologies as a whole and how it can reshape our society in multiple ways. So it is not just about having a notion of beautiful future with technology, but can also justify as to why we are more optimistic about this through this conference. With wishing you all an acumen morning, we, the GHRCE College of Engineering, welcome the respected dignitaries, eminent guests for the day, the deans, the HODs, faculty members, and the students who have joined us on this special day. IEEE International Conference on Innovations and Challenges in Emerging Technologies, IEEE ICICET 2024, technically sponsored by IEEE and co-sponsored by IEEE Bombay section and IEEE Nagpur subsection in association with GHR Labs and Research Center, organized by the Department of Data Science, Internet of Things, and Cybersecurity of GHRC. Few things that we observe of late, I think our audience would agree with me. Never before in the history of mankind has the pace of innovation and technological acceleration been faster than it is today. A series of innovations and technologies are transforming business, the economy, and life on a global scale. In the age of big data, the field of data engineering has become a cornerstone of technological progress and innovation. Keeping pace with this accelerating rate of engineering technologies is no small change for sure. Taking full advantage of today's emerging technologies will bring about a transformation to the continuously changing world in which we operate. It's our honor to welcome our chief guest of today's conference, Mr. Shailesh Avle, Center Head and Director at HCL Technologies. We feel privileged to welcome our guest of honor, Professor Parag Deshpande, Department of Computer Science Engineering, VNIT Nagpur. We welcome the Deputy Director and Dean R&D and the organizing chair of the conference, Dr. Santosh Jaju. Deputy Director and Dean Academics, Dr. Pramod Walke, Dr. Rahul Agarwal, and Dr. Chetan Duli, General Chair of the conference, Dr. Nikita Chauhan, Head of DIC Department and the convener of this conference, and other conveners, Dr. Lakshman Thakre and Dr. Atul Deshmukh. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you all once again. We also seek the divine blessings of the supreme power before the onset of this auspicious event. I request the dignitaries to kindly step forward for lighting the lamp. Over to Ms. Bhavi Bhargat for the chant.
या कुन्देदु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्तानृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा निःशेषजाड्यापहा निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
We request the dignitaries to elevate the conference with their presence on the dais. Flowers are a way to express gratitude and respect, and we choose to offer that with gusto. I request our Deputy Director and Dean Academics, Dr. Pramod Walke, to offer floral welcome to the chief guest, Mr. Shailesh Avle. I request Dr. Santosh Jaju, Dean R&D and Deputy Director, to offer floral welcome to the guest of honor, Professor Parag Deshpande. I request Dr. Chetan Duli to offer a memento to our beloved Deputy Director, Dr. Pramod Walke, sir. I request Dr. Rahul Agarwal, sir, to welcome Dr. Santosh Jaju, sir. Thank you, dignitaries, for being gracious enough to be present in us and join us this morning. The IEEE ICICET 2024 provides a common forum for deliberations, sharing of recent trends, advancements, and research in the technological areas, and its unfolded association with the future. Every conference invites an inquisitive preamble to unfold several ideas, creation, research, and development, which is an integral part of it. We now request Dr. Rahul Agarwal, General Chair of this conference, to present the preamble.
Patron of this conference, Honorable Shri Sunilji Raisoni, Chairman RGI. Chief guest of the function, Mr. Shailesh Avre sir, Center Head and Director HCL Technologies Nagpur. Guest of honor, Dr. Parag Deshpande sir, Professor VNIT Nagpur. Honorary Chair and Director GHRCE, Dr. Sachin Untwale sir, in his absence. Organizing Chair, Deputy Director Dean R&D, Dr. Santosh Jaju sir. Deputy Director and Dean Academics, Dr. Walke sir. HOD DIC and Convener, Professor Nikita Chauhan ma'am. Other conveners, Dr. Thakre, Dr. Atul Deshmukh sir. My fellow General Chair, Dr. Chetan Dhule, Deans, Heads of Department, faculty members, author delegate and students. Very good morning to all. It is a matter of privilege for me to present the preamble of International Conference on Innovation and Challenges in Emerging Technologies, organized by Department of Data Science, IoT and Cybersecurity at GHRCE in Nagpur, technically sponsored by IEEE and co-sponsored by IEEE Bombay section and Nagpur subsection, in association with GHR Lab and Research Center. GHRCE has hosted 29 international conferences and 34 national conferences, technically sponsored by IEEE, Springer, elsewhere, AIP, IOP, indexed by Scopus and Web of Science. The main objective of this conference is to bring together the researchers from the academia, research laboratories, and stakeholders from the industry. The conference will facilitate the presentation of the recent development and exchange of the practical experience in the emerging domains. This conference will definitely encourage the discussion, dissemination of information, exchange of ideas, and collaboration among the participants. We receive overwhelming response in terms of the number of research papers that we have received in the conference. We are happy to share that we have received 534 research papers for the conference from India and abroad. And after peer review, 105 papers have been selected for the conference and registered for presentation and will be referred for publication in IEEE Explore Digital Library. The research paper has been accepted in the conference with acceptance percentage of 19.67%. After review process from TPC members and as per the guidelines of IEEE, we ensure that the contribution of research content by the researchers really helps the next generation as the building blocks of future discoveries. After inaugural function, the first keynote address will be delivered by Dr. Parag Deshpande sir, Professor VNIT Nagpur, on topic Enterprise Data Warehouse and AI/ML System Design and Implementation Policies. On second day, the keynote address will be delivered by Dr. Amrit Mukherjee, Department of Computer Science, University of South Bohemia, Czech Republic. On topic, will blockchain be secured post-computing computing? The chief guest of the function, valedictory function, will be Ramakrishnan R, co-founder and CEO of Immersive AI Nagpur. During the two-day conference, the presentation of all 105 accepted paper will be presented by the author delegate in 11 different tracks, namely interdisciplinary research and innovation, application to emerging technologies, computer network security and privacy, AI/ML and computational intelligence, IoT, computer architecture and computer application, communication technologies, image processing and computer vision, blockchain, cyber security and privacy, etc. I express my deep sense of gratitude towards RGA Chairman and Conference Patron, Shri Sunilji Raisoni sir, all dignitaries, guest, keynote speaker, honorary chair, Dr. Sachin Untwale sir, session chair, international and national advisory board members, conveners, other general chair Dr. Chetan Dhule, organizing chair, publication chair, reviewers, session chair, author delegates, session coordinators, and organizing committee of IEEE ICICET 24 for their constant support to organize the conference. I look forward to mark this conference as an enriching experience to all the delegates, and I am very much confident that they will take valuable input from this conference to take research work ahead. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir. The research and development is the core factor around which an educational institution strongly revolves around. Now it's time to hear from the Deputy Director and Dean R&D, Dr. Santosh Jaju, on his address. Sir, over to you.
Good morning. Chief guest of the function, Mr. Shailesh Avle, Center Head and Director, SCL Technologies, Nagpur. Guest of honor, Professor Parag Deshpande, sir. Professor, VNIT Nagpur. Honorary Chair and Director, GHRCE, Dr. Sachin Untawale, sir, in his absence. Deputy Director and Dean Academics, Dr. Pramod Wagke, sir. HOD DIC and convener of this conference, Professor Nikita Chauhan. Other conveners of this IEEE conference, Dr. Lakshman Thakre, Dr. Atul Deshmukh. General chairs of this conference, Dr. Rahul Agrawal and Dr. Chetan Dhule. Deans of various portfolios, heads of various departments, faculty members, author delegates, and my dear students. Good morning, and I welcome you all for this inaugural ceremony of this IEEE International Conference on Innovations and Challenges in Emerging Technologies, ICICET 24 at GHRC Nagpur, organized by Department of Data Science, IoT and Cybersecurity, technically sponsored by IEEE and co-sponsored by IEEE Bombay section and IEEE Nagpur subsection in association with GHR Labs and Research Center. I am delighted to be part of this conference because this IEEE ICICET was started in 2008, and we used to be known for hosting this IEEE sponsored conferences in Nagpur region. So this series is being continued by various departments, and now I can say that all the departments have been involved in this IEEE conference, and the huge response we are getting, and this year more than 500 papers have been received. That is a remarkable achievement. As a Dean Research and Development, I would like to brief you about R&D accomplishment and the activities of the Institute. With effective R&D policies and norms in place, the intellectual capital of Institute is noteworthy. Institute has more than 6,300 publications in reputed journals and conferences, with citation counts more than 23,000, with 135 books and book chapters, 235 plus copyrights, 402 plus patents being filed, out of which 96 patents have been granted. Within 96 patents, 12 are international patents, and this has been all done by faculties and students together. Institute is approved research center for doctoral studies, wherein 167 PhDs have been awarded. We have received research and development grants worth rupees 35 crores plus for research projects from prestigious government organizations like AICT, DST, UGC, even professional societies such as IEEE, IEI has also provided us the grant for the research activities. In addition to many seminar grants, travel grants, entrepreneurship development grants, TakeUp 1, TakeUp 2 project of MHRD, which is now Ministry of Education, the only institute who has run both TakeUp 1 and TakeUp 2 projects successfully in this central region. Apart from this, industries have spent 14.2 crores on 485 projects carried out by faculties and students. We provide financial assistance for research activities, participation in competitions, seminars, conferences to students and faculties. Till date, 2,700 plus beneficiaries have been supported with more than 3 crores. The ecosystem set for research has helped students to win more than 110 plus awards at national and international level in 2023-24. We have organized 17 PhD colloquia, 28 international conferences indexed by IEEE, Elsevier, Springer, American Institute of Physics USA, Institute of Physics UK, and 34 national conferences. Institute has conducted 120 plus faculty development programs, short-term training programs on thrust areas in association with industries. We have established 18 center of excellences in the emerging domains like biomedical engineering, AIML, IoT, smart city, energy, cloud computing, AR, VR, to name few, apart from incubation, pre-incubation, IPR cell, and research park at our institute. These center of excellences are conducting annual summits such as International AI Summit, National Summit on Smart Solution to Smart Cities, MEDA, which is the signature event of IIT Bombay, VNIT, and AIMS Medical Devices Hackathon, and they are conducting short-term training programs and the various specialized training programs in their domain. GHRC has taken significant steps to establish the GHRC satellite ground station within its campus, a milestone achievement for the institute uh, for the successful creation, development, and launch of the nano satellite named GHRC SAT. GHRC is having collaboration with more than 13 international organizations and 90 plus industries and research organizations. We are providing consultancy to industries in the domain of IoT, AIML, biomedical, agricultural machineries. GHRC received consultancy of 16.87 lakhs, and faculties and students together have provided cost saving to industry for 325 projects worth 7.49 crores. Many leading multinational companies like Mahindra and Mahindra, Yamaha, Intel, Cranes, Texas Instruments, Xilinx, and National Instruments have established their laboratories in the campus. We not only support financially and encourage the students for participation, we mentor also, but not only that, we incentivize and recognize the efforts of students and faculties for research activities and recognize them on Teachers Day and Engineers Day, and institute spends more than 8 to 10 lakhs every year for the same. I must congratulate Department of Data Science, IoT, and Cyber Security for organizing and taking forward this IEEE series of conferences at our institute. I am sure that this conference shall benefit the participants offline and online from various corners of India and abroad, and shall update their knowledge base. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. A famous quote that I came across says, if you want to move forward, often look back to remember where you came from and where you need to go. It's now the time for a welcome address for which I invite Dr. Pramod Valke, Deputy Director and Dean Academics of GHRC, to present his welcome address. Sir, please.
Thank you, madam. On the dais, chief guest of today's inaugural function, Mr. Shailesh Avte, Center Head and Director, SCL Technology, Nagpur. Guest of honor, Professor Parag Deshpande, Professor, Department of Computer Science Engineering, VNIT Nagpur. My colleague, Deputy Director and Dean R&D, Dr. H.B. Jaju. General Chair of this conference, Dr. Chetan Dule, Dr. Agarwal, Convener and Head of Department, DIC, Professor Nikita Chauhan, GHRC IEEE faculty officials, Dr. Thakre and Dr. Deshmukh, all deans, heads of department, faculty members, and dear author. Very good morning to you all and warm greetings. On behalf of GHRC College of Engineering and my personal behalf, I welcome you all for this inaugural function of International Conference on Innovation and Challenges in Emerging Technology, that is IEEE ICICET 24, organized by DIC department, technically sponsored by IEEE Bombay section and subsection IEEE Nagpur. This is first conference organized by this new department, and for information of guest, our IEEE section is very strong at GHRCE, and recently we have got the best IEEE student chapter for 24. As per information, 500 plus, that is 534 papers were issued from all over world, and out of that, as per the norms of IEEE, they have selected 105. So first of all, I congratulate Department of DIC and organizing team for organizing the conference, first conference on such a emerging topic. Sir, we encourage our faculty member and the head of department to conduct uh, such type of international conference, webinar, seminar, faculty development program, Mr. P, so that in addition to the external member, our faculty members and student can improve their skill and knowledge. For information of the guest, our college is Autonomous College, affiliated to RTM Nagpur Institute Nagpur. We have recently received the import status from state government of Maharashtra, and we are running 13 UG program, 9 PG program including MBA, and 5 PhD program. Our institute is NAC accredited with A double plus grade, and our the CGPA is 3.55 at the scale of 4, and our ranking of NRF is in band of 151 to 200 by declared by Government of India. Now, I thanks chief guest of today's function for accepting our invitation as a chief guest. I also thank guest of honor, Professor Deshpande sir, for accepting our invitation as a guest of honor. I also thank DIC department for inviting me for this program. I express my sincere gratitude to all authors, research scholars for their participation and sharing their research work for this conference. At last, I hope all of you have very productive and encouraging discussion and exchange of knowledge and have an inspiring moment during conference for 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It gives me mammoth pleasure in introducing the guest of honor of today's event, Professor Parag Deshpande, Department of Computer Science Engineering, VNIT Nagpur, a doctorate holder in computer science engineering, an author of 8 books and book chapters. He shoulders various responsibilities, namely IT Auditor for Nagpur Municipal Corporation and the Chairman of ACM Nagpur Local Chapter, member of various Board of Studies, RPC, Technical Committee, and many more to his expertise. We are glad to have you with us today on this iconic session, sir, and we invite you to address over this conference. Sir, please.
Okay, thank you for inviting me for this prestigious conference. Actually, my association with this college is very much from the beginning, from 95 onwards, when this college was just in the initial stage. And I, along with your chairman, Mr. Sunil Raisoni, we actually conceived a lot of ideas, right, about how the education institute should grow. Here there are, as some of my students, right, they're also sitting here, and I know that they're doing very good, right, in this college. Now, the purpose of the conference is to introduce the new technologies, right, in the region. And second is that here the students, professors, they will get the opportunity for expressing their ideas. So exchange of the ideas, making the communication, gatherings, right? They are very good for any good academic institutes, right? So I congratulate the organizing members also, right, for organizing such good conference. And I glad that they received a very good response. So they received around 500 papers. So that is also very good. That indicates that how this institute is also known right outside. So thanks again, right, for all the participants also for joining for this conference. Okay, thank you.
Now it's time to hear from the chief guest of today's conference, Mr. Shailesh Avle, Center Head and Director at HCL Technologies, who holds an experience of 25 years in IT industry and over the last 20 years with HCL. He is a certified transition specialist and also one of the influential leader at the Nagpur diaspora. He is on the advisory board and also vice chairman of CII at Nagpur. He is also part of various boards of studies of engineering colleges. On going through his profile, I was completely admired as his role as an industry specialist along with an academic expert. We are glad to have you with us today, sir. We request you to have few words on your address.
Good morning, everyone. And first of all, respected Professor Deshpande, Professor Walke sir, distinguished faculty members, and the organizers of this event, and all the participants. I think this is my second time to this institute. And first time when I came, there was a national level Smart India hackathon where the students from across India participated, actively on various startup ideas. And now, in fact, probably after 2 years, I'm seeing that the institute is taking, a leap and organizing an international event. I think it's truly commendable, and really want to congratulate the organizers, the management, the faculty, and all the people who are engaged and involved in making this happen. I think just I'll spend 2-3 minutes talking about my perspective of how I probably take up this kind of conferences. As Sir said, it is important event where you collaborate, communicate, exchange ideas with each other, and at the end you take away some learnings from these conferences. I think what is also important from my point of view is that how we basically take these ideas for implementation coming from the the business background. While we have great ideas, there's a lot of literature that we can review, we can find gaps, we can think about the complex problems, but at the end, if we are not able to implement those ideas and really make it work, then there is no use of those ideas. So one sincere request from my side to all the authors or the participants would be to take a step forward. While we are talking about innovation, also add to that an element of entrepreneurship to that, right? Innovation is all about talking about the ideas, finding the solutions, but how do you implement those ideas and where that entrepreneurship had, and then take it to the end state. I think that is important. The conference topic is about innovation challenges in emerging technologies, right? So if I just have to flip a little bit, talk about the challenges first. I think it is important while we are talking about innovation, we are talking about emerging technologies. Unless and until, right, we know about the problems in and around us, the problem that we are going to solve, I think whatever knowledge that we perceive, whatever technologies that exist, will not be able to basically, really create a value out of it. Therefore, I think one second submission to all the participants would be that while we are wearing the hat of, coming up with ideas, how do we basically also spend, first of all, time in identifying what the problems are? These problems are like, the complex problems in various business processes, business domains, right, that exist. Could be in the healthcare field, could be in the, the mining area, or in financial, businesses, or education, or in governance. So I think it is important for all of us to first of all understand how that business operates, what are the challenges in those businesses, and how do we basically then talk about solving those challenges by identifying the right technology and the right, the solution. Correct. So I think it is important. In short, I know you have a long day here. Just think about the innovation. While thinking about the innovation, also wear the hat of entrepreneurship. Also spend good amount of time in understanding, what the problems are in the business domain, and try to identify the right problem. Try to make sure that while we are implementing the technologies, we are also thinking about how we are building the solutions which are more efficient, which are more basically cost effective, which are actually making sure that we are delivering the quality, which are more scalable in nature in future. We are thinking about the maintainability of those solutions in future, right? So these are all the elements that we should also be thinking while we are focusing more on the theory and the the theoretical aspects, or the the literature reviews, or methodologies that you're going to apply as part of your the papers that you're submitting. So having said that, I wish my best to all the participants, and really honored to be part of this important conference. And once again, good wishes and good luck to the institute. Thank you.
Thank you for your vision and the lead, sir. I think this will be kept in mind while the authors present their ideas. Thank you once again. All the hard work demands notice, recognition, and acceptance in an ideal platform. All the hard work in the form of papers and abstracts got together as a resource for further proceeding. It's time to unveil the conference proceeding. I request all the dignitaries to release the conference proceedings, please. Thank you, dignitaries. Nothing is easy and nothing is hard. All it takes to make an event successful comes with responsibility, sharing, and a great execution for that event. To take a mention, and may I now call upon Dr. Chetan Dule, General Chair, to present the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam. Good morning, all. Patron of this conference, Honorable Sri Sunilji Raisoni, Chairman RGA, Chief Guest of today's function, Mr. Shailesh Avle, Center Head and Director, SCL Technologies, Nagpur, Guest of honor, Dr. Parag Deshpande sir, Professor VNIT Nagpur, Honorary Chair and Director GHRCE, Dr. Sachin Utwale sir, in his absence. Organizing Chair, Deputy Director and Dean of R&D, Dr. Santosh Jaju sir, Deputy Director and Dean of Academics, Dr. Pramod Walke sir, Convener and Head of the Department, Professor Nikita Chauhan madam, my fellow General Chair, Dr. Rahul Agarwal sir, members of Advisory Board, members of various subcommittees, all deans, all heads, section in charges, faculty members, and authors. I, Dr. Chetan Dude, General Chair of International Conference on Innovation and Challenges in Emerging Technologies, ICICET 24, take these opportunities to propose vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Data Science, IoT and Cybersecurity, GHRCE Nagpur. I would like to express my profound gratitude to Sri Sunilji Raisuni, Chairman RJI and Patron ICICET 24 for his blessings and motivation. Let me express my deep gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Shailesh Avle sir, Center Head and Director SCL Technologies Nagpur, for taking time out of his busy schedule and honored this function with his inspirational speech. My words may not be enough to express my deep sense of gratitude to the guest of honor, Dr. Parag Deshpande sir, Professor VNIT Nagpur, for accepting our invitation for keynote talk for this conference. Most humble thanks to the honorary chair, Dr. Sachin Untwale sir, Director GHRC, for his dynamic leadership, guidance, motivation, and continuous support to organize all such events. My thanks goes to organizing chair, Dr. Santosh Jaju sir, for his constant motivation. I am also thankful to Deputy Director and Dean of Academics, Dr. Pramod Walke sir, for his continuous support and guidance. I am happy to express my sincere gratitude to the convener and head of the department, Professor Nikita Chauhan Morris madam, for her active involvement and support. I am also thankful to conveners, Dr. Atul Deshmukh and Dr. Lakshman Thakre for their timely support. My special thanks to my fellow General Chair, Dr. Rahul Agarwal sir, for shouldering all the responsibilities of this international conference. I also give my humble thanks to technical sponsor IEEE, technical co-sponsor IEEE Bombay section and IEEE Nagpur subsection for their gracious permission to conduct this conference. I take this opportunity to thank all the reviewers, TPC members for providing valuable comments and feedbacks towards the improvement of quality of papers for this particular conference. Also, I am thankful to all the authors who have submitted valuable research papers to this international conference. On behalf of organizing committee, we shall thank all session chairs for accepting our invitation for technical session. I thank to all dean, all heads, section in charges, and committee members for their timely support to make this conference a grand success. Last but always the best, a deserving mention and appreciation towards the contribution of Team GHRC involving faculty members, accounts department, PRO department, IT support team, administrative officer, and support staff, and all those who were directly or indirectly involved to make this international conference a grand success. Thank you all. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. As we have come to the end of the inaugural ceremony, let's all raise and recite national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
We request you all to enjoy a refreshing tea break just outside this hall and be right back in the next 10 minutes for the most awaited session by Professor Parag Deshpande on the topic Enterprise Data Warehousing and AI MI System Design and Implementation Policies. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. So, for a group photo, please wait. Faculty members of data science, deans, heads of department, two conveners, please come on the stage for a group photo. Priya.
ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಧು ಮೇಡಮ್.
आणि प्रोड्युसर त्याकडे बघा आता सर्वांना पण एकदम
सर सरांनी आपण मॅम आपण मी 96
देखी मुंह से सीटी बजे हाथ से ताली मैं खिलाड़ी तू अनाड़ी मैं अनाड़ी तू खिलाड़ी मैं खिलाड़ी तू अनाड़ी मैं अनाड़ी तू सजना मिल मुझको सताना तेरा संगला तेरी लत ने बिगाड़ा मेरा बीतेगा लिख तुझे पे जमाना मेरी जान Eagle is coming, fast I'm running, blood is rushing, started and gunning. Eagle is coming, fast I'm running, blood is rushing, started and I want you to breathe me. Let me be your air. Let me roam your body free. No inhibition, no fear. How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean, like devotion? Are you? How deep is your love? Is it like Nirvana? Hit me harder again. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? Pull me closer again. How deep is your love? shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Start pouring down, light a fire they can't put out. Carve your name into those shining stars. He said, go venture far beyond the shores. Don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. My father told me.
Raisoni College is an autonomous institution that is NAC accredited with A+ grade. The institution has chosen a highly motivated, skilled, and experienced team of faculty members and offers well-equipped labs with a large collection of educational resources available in
Education in accordance with global standards is well exemplified at our institute. Raisoni is not just good at academics, but also has various activity clubs, which engages students in their extracurricular and co-curricular activities.
लगे फनी और मैं पहुंच चुका हूँ कश्ती 2023 में जो कि रायपुर कॉलेज
This is a knowledge tree for knowledge seekers.
जब मैं बिजनेस लीडर्स को मिलता हूं मेरे दिमाग में ये होता है कि ये मैं बकासुर से मिल रहा हूं या भीम से मिल रहा हूं। सरस्वती की दुनिया में लक्ष्मी नहीं होती है। दिस इज नॉनसेंस। Just because he's a successful person doesn't mean his ideas are good. They can be horrible. भगवान को भी व्यापार समझ में आता है। नैवेद्य प्रसाद, give in order to get. आज ये कॉन्सेप्ट सुना ना, तो रुको, अभी थोड़ा रिसर्च करो, शाम तक थोड़ा डिप्रेशन आ जाएगा।
Check, check.
As the spirit was moving over the water, spirit come move over us.
Orange City Literature Festival is going to rock आणि यातून आपण उत्तम वाचक नक्की घडवू शकतो. वाचाल तर वाचाल.
Welcome you all to this 4th edition of Orange City Literature Festival.
Thank God in Ebola. So people at the Literature Festival. In the backdrop of Paris.
Because they've been down. When you feel the room, you're here and I know you are moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. And fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in.
Have a successful career, but always keep something where you can chill, where you can relax.
I love the city, I love the stalls, I love the music.
It's a festival that feels like a family gathering. It's wonderful. There are about more than 80 writers here from all over India.
Names of professions which I couldn't even have imagined or even heard of, but they're making out of it, they're making the life out of it.
I want to tell the younger generation that nothing is impossible.
Really, really happy to see that young people are reading and they're interested in literature.
चेहऱ्यावरती नवा चेहरा
हो चेहऱ्यावरती नवा चेहरा लख लखदा चंदेरी तारा दृश्य कलेच्या मंचावरती सुख दुःखाचा उत्सव न्यारा दृश्य कलेच्या मंचावरती सुख दुःखाचा उत्सव न्यारा
प्रत्यक्षाहुना प्रतिमा उत्कट कल्पनेतली उंच भरारी
हो प्रत्यक्षाहुन प्रतिमा उत्कट कल्पनेतली उंच भरारी
चढाओढ ही सिद्धत्वाची रसिक जनाच्या हो दरबारी
कोणी नायक कोणी नायिका
साधक कोणी कोणी साधिका
फुल्या फुल्या जागी जो तो
जानव ठविका चोख भूमिका जल्लोष इथे रंगभूमीचा जल्लोष इथे रंगभूमीचा नटराजाला नमन घालतो नाट्यकलेचा विनम्र साधक
नटराजाला नमन घालतो नाट्यकलेचा विनम्र साधक
परिश्रमाचे होवो सार्थक रायसोनी GHRCE Ganda GHRCE Ganda
Sony Group, a vision beyond. GHRCE University, Amravati, stands tall in imparting quality education to all knowledge seekers. Embedded in the green campus in the central part of India, the institute is a shrine for all knowledge seekers and offers almost 80 courses. With technology soaring new heights every day, the students are trained to strive relentlessly for perfection. GHRCE University not only encourages innovative education, but also has class-apart laboratories, resource centers, and corporate development plans for the students to shine in every phase of life. GHRCE University, Amravati. A vision beyond. GHRCE University, Amravati, stands tall in imparting quality education to all knowledge seekers. Embedded in the green campus in the central part of India, the institute is a shrine for all knowledge seekers and offers almost 80 courses. With technology soaring new heights every day, the students are trained to strive relentlessly for perfection. GHRCE University not only encourages innovative education, but also has class-apart laboratories, resource centers, and corporate development plans for the students to shine in every phase of life. GHRCE University, Amravati. A vision beyond. Raisoni Group, a vision beyond.
Hello. Okay, shall we start? Okay. So let me clear that it is not a formal presentation, right? I will just talk, right, to you regarding the various aspects, right, of the enterprise implementation of AI ML projects, right, data warehouse, data mining, right, and IoT, right? If you are having any question, you can directly interrupt me at any time. And I'll be very much glad, right, if you drill me, right, in all aspects, right? So I'm expecting a lot of questions from the students, right, as well as the participants. Okay, so we'll start. So my topic is that already it is displayed. So it is for the Maharashtra Transmission Company. I'll just give the brief idea, right, about this Maharashtra Transmission. It is called as a Transco, right? Anybody is having the idea how we got the electricity? All of you are using the electricity, right? All of you are receiving the voltage and current. What is the value of the voltage that we got? It is 230 volts, right? Then we are having the two plugs. One is called as a normal, second is called as the power. What are the currents in that? We are not getting 440 volts. 440 volts is mainly for the industries. But for the houses, right, we are having the 230, right? And then we'll have the power plug and these 15 amperes and I think 0.5 ampere, right? So we'll see how this is flowing. So anybody having any idea about how it is flowing? So it is coming means it is generated somewhere, right? It is generated somewhere. So where it is generated? Power stations, right? So can you name some power stations? Because Nagpur is famous. We are in the Koradi, we are in the Khaparkheda, Mauda, right? And then Chandrapur, right? So Vidarbha is the area, right, which is supplying almost 80% of the Maharashtra need, right? So don't assume that our region is poor, right? Assume that we are very, very rich, right? Because we are supplying to Bombay. My student is sitting in Bombay, right? And he's taking our electricity. And when there is a less generation, then he is taking all and give us the load shedding, right? Okay. So these generators, they are using the various kind of energies like water. Pinch, you are having the hydro project, right? They are using the coal. Then they are using the solar also, right? They are using the nuclear also. So there are a lot of generators. So they are generating the electricity and their voltage level is around 440 kilowatt. And some generators, they are having the level as 132 kilowatt, right? So it is very huge, right? It is very huge. So we receive 230 volt. So there must be some converter, right? There is some converter, right, who is going to step down these voltages. You know what are these converters? Right? In the first year we have studied it. It is transformer, right? So step up transformer, step down transformer, right? So from 440 kilowatt, it is not directly converted to 230 volts, right? So we are in the substation, right? So if you go to Amrati, right, you will have on the left side, right, is the substation. So there is a line of say 440 kilowatt, then it is stepped down, it is 132 kilowatt, then it is further stepped down to 11 kilowatt, right? And in an area you are in the transformer that is converting 11 kilowatt to 230 volts. So we are in the transformers at various stages. So the transformers which are in your area, right, they are converting from say 11 kilowatt to 230 volt, right? So they are called as the distribution transformers, right? They are called as the distribution transformers. And then the transformers we are converting from generator to 132 kilowatt, right? They are called as the power transformers. So we are having the substations, right, across various, right, districts, right, various places. So in the Maharashtra, there are power substations, right? Their range is, the number is around 700, right? The number is around 700. Now, and only it is not a transformer, right? You have to protect that transformer also. Because it is a fault, then it will draw very huge current that will burn down the transformer. So for transformer, right, there is one protection system that consists of the circuit breaker. So whenever there is a fault, there is high current is generated and there is a tripping of the circuit breaker that will protect the transformer. Now why this protection is necessary? Right? Why this protection is necessary? Because if you don't do the protection, what will happen? Transformer will burn out, right? And one transformer, it is costing, power transformer, right? It is having a lot of value, maybe 30 crores, 35 crores, right? So there's a lot of cost associated with it. That is the first thing. Second is, if there's a breakdown, right, and there is a 1 hour breakdown in that area, how much it will cost to the company? Can you guess? It is around 100 crores, right? It is around 100 crores. So there was a blackout in Mumbai, if you remember, 5-6 years back. And around it was 24 plus 36 hours blackout. That time, the power companies, they lost 700 crores. So the cost is huge. Cost is huge. So it is necessary, right, to protect the transformer. That is the one thing. Second is, every machine is going to have some life. Your body is having some life, right? It is also a machine. Then your car is having the life, your vehicle is having the life because of wear and tear, right? And you have to replace it also, right? So after some time, you have to replace the transformers also, circuit breakers also, right? Then there are other devices like lightning arrestor, because there is a lightning, it will protect the transformer from the lightning huge current. Lightning huge current, it is a very high current, right? Maybe around 100 kiloamperes, right? It's a very huge current. So there are some devices, right, which are called as the lightning arresters, right? These are also there. Now, and if you have to measure all these voltages current, normally you are using the voltmeter, right? But this voltmeter, you cannot directly put it on the line because line is 440 kilowatt. So how will you measure the voltage of that? So how will you measure the 440 kilowatt? Can you use your ampere meter or voltmeter? You must have seen your voltmeter and ampere meters in your lab. I don't know. That means you have studied the electrical engineering in the first year. I have studied it, right? But it is a very small device, right? It is a very small device. So there is one more transformer which will step down, right, to a voltage of around say 10 volt, right, in the substation. There is a very special transformer that is called as a potential transformer. Same is the case with the current. So the current is also stepped down by the current transformer. These are specialized design, right? They are not normally like the power transformers. So all that things there is in the substation, right? So for your thing, right, you can assume that there are a lot of devices. There are a lot of devices, right, in the substation, and you have to keep them protected, right? You have to keep them protected, right? And this protection is necessary, right, so that we can increase the life of it, so it will reduce the cost. Now, anything that is done, right, in the industries or enterprise, it is for the three purposes. One is it should reduce the cost. Second is it should increase the revenue. And third is it will improve the quality, right? It will improve the quality. Now, quality is having the different parameters, like time is one parameter, right? Accuracy is another parameter, right? So any project that you want to design, right, this is very important, right? This is very important that it should have some performance measures, right? And the major performance measures are what? Cost, revenue, and quality. So you are also making some projects, right? R&D projects. But if you want to correlate with the user cases, right, then you should correlate with either of them, right? Only the projects which are correlated with these parameters, they will sustain, right? Because they will be useful, right? So these are all the three things, right, which are required, right, for this designing of the system. Now, how to manage these 700 substations, right? How to manage the substations, right, is a very challenging thing. And why it is challenging? Because they are distributed on multiple locations. For example, in the Gadchiroli very remote location, you will get Alapalli, right? There is one substation. Like in Chandrapur Jam, there is another substation, right? So they are having different locations, right? In the earlier cases, that means earlier years, right? They are getting very good engineers, right? Because that time it was not that everybody wants to live in the city, right? So people, they used to work anywhere. So now that mobility of the internal society, right, it is quite restricted. So people are not going to work on the Alapalli. Even if I will say that you will get very good salary in the Gadchiroli, will not go, right? Because you will see that, oh, I want to live in the Nagpur, right? अब कोई भी ऐसा मेरे को नहीं लगता है कि आप जाएंगे और गढ़चिरौली में काम चालू करेंगे करके, राइट? मेरे को जब पहला जॉब मिला था तो वो बहुत रिमोट लोकेशन पे था, L&T में चंद्रपुर में, राइट? लेकिन तब मेरे को ऐसा लगता नहीं था कि मेरे को काम नहीं करना है करके। तो अभी थोड़ा सोसाइटी भी चेंज हो गया, तो ये सब चैलेंजेस है, राइट? And second, बहुत सारे you are all faculties, right? You know that now your students are not much studying, right? So the quality of the knowledge that is going to be there, right? That is, if you see continuously in the years, right? That is also less, right? You must have experienced, right, all the things, right? Because most of you are the faculties, right? Okay, so these are some challenges, right? They are there. So now the question is, okay, we are not going to have the good manpower, but we have to protect the system, right? How to do that? So then we are going to have some system that can be managed with the technology, right? So we have some system with the managed with the technology, right? Technology, what technology is needed, right? Everything. In 2017, right, the team of Maharashtra Transmission, they came to me that they say that, okay, they want to manage this remotely, they should be monitored remotely, they should be controlled remotely, right? All these substations, equipments, right? And that time they say that they want, right, some answers like, what should be the remaining life of the transformer? Complete AI question, right? Complete AI question. Then, suppose they want to take that transformer, right, out of the service for say 1 day, what will be its impact on the grid, right? What will impact on the total grid, right? Now this grid is having wonderful dynamics. So this grid is maintaining the frequency, right? If you heard 50 hertz, right? Our grid frequency is how much? 50 hertz, right? And generators, they are putting the power, right, on those grid, and consumers, they are taking it. So if the generators, they are going to put the more power, what will happen? The frequency will increase, right? And if the consumers are taking more power, then what will happen? The frequency will decrease, right? And all your equipments, including this fan and all, right, they are designed at what? 50 hertz, right? So they have to see a lot of things, right? And all they require, right, a kind of, right, that time, right, they want, right, the answers, right, to these questions, which are currently, now we can say that they are in the domain of AI ML. Now then the question was, okay, how the AI and ML systems are designed, right? So what is the first prerequisite of that designing or implementing any AI ML system, right? So what is the prerequisite for it? Interpretation that you have to do, that we can call it as the model, right? But most important thing on which you will do the interpretations. You require what? Data. You require what? Data. And data can be anything, right? Data is like the continuous voltages, power factors, right? Currents, right, at various locations, that is one data. Then they are having some manual data also. Manual data means if you do the transformer testing, right, you know the two tests, right? In the first year you have studied it. Which are these tests? Transformer test, right? Very famous question in the first year. कौन से दो टेस्ट होते थे? Open circuit test and short circuit test, right? So there are these two tests that you know, right? But there are around 70 tests, different tests, right, on the transformers, right? And they have to collect the data also, right? So you require that data also, right? Then this grid is having a lot of disturbances, right? This grid is having a lot of disturbances, right? Some local disturbances are there, right? So suddenly there is an intermittent down in the voltage or current, right? These are called as the disturbances. So they are also recorded in their registers. They are also recorded in their registers. Fourth is, now if you are having some video surveillance system, then you are having the cameras, videos, continuously recording it, right? So there is a huge data, right? That is the one thing. Second is they are very large data, right? The data is very large data, right? And third is they are having the different velocities. For example, continuous voltages, they are after say 10 seconds each, right? After 10 seconds each, right? So this is a very, very challenging project, right? For us also, right? To design the enterprise-wide system, right? That will collect all this data reliably, store it, and make the interpretations. Now these interpretation levels are also of the three types. First is the very, very short-term interpretation. Means you are having the event and will generate alarm. Then we are having some event, but that alarm can be handled after 2-3 days. And some there are long-term interpretations like remaining life of the transformer, right? So this is a typical use case for what we are calling it as the multi-level data warehouse from the storage point of view. Now to collect the data, right, we require the different sensors. We require for manual data, we require some website, right? Then for this immediate data, like 10 seconds data, we require the IoTs, right? So then we are having the SCADA system that is going to generate the data, right? You can see the long form of the SCADA system, right? So that will use to generate the data, right? So that is one challenge, right? How to establish the data acquisition. Second is how to store this data efficiently. And third is what are the algorithms to process it and make the interpretations. So that team that came to me, sir, we want to do this project. And I heard that you have written good books, and they come with along with my friend who is having a very big company, right? He told us that you go to VNIT and ask for some help. So the team was of Mr. Advait Dev, chief engineer, right? And Mr. Chavan, who was director of projects of Maharashtra Transmission. So, okay, because that complete thing was quite new to me, right? The domain was also quite new to me, right? Because if you want to go to do such projects, right? And if it happens sometimes, some wrong things happens, then it will hamper all your reputations, right? That you have gathered, right, throughout your life. So, okay, then we'll see that. Okay, we'll see first, okay, what are the things they are involved in that system. So we got some around 2-3 meetings in Nagpur, right? Then they invited me, right, to their head office in Mumbai. The Mumbai office is Bandra is there, Prakashgad office. And then I got meeting with the secretary, Mr. Mittal, right, energy secretary. So he told me that, okay, they are having challenges and everything. Data acquisition is one challenge. The companies, they are not giving the data also because they are in their SCADA systems and they are charging us, right? This particularly the MNCs companies, right? They are charging us, right, for the data. So there are a lot of issues in the data. So how you can acquire that data, right? You put me a lot of questions on that. And then on the same day, right, then the director told me that we invited some vendors in that, like this Siemens, ABB, Schneider, right, Bale, right? So invited some persons from these companies, and you have to chair the meeting. So that time I was got a lot of anxiety because I'm quite new to the electrical system, right? Though not much new, but the hugeness, heterogeneity, right? And aerodynamics, right? That was not much known to me. So that time, okay, then director told me that allowed Deshpande, right, to chair the meeting and explain the project. So that meeting was there, and all the heads of the India, right, those were sitting in front of me. They were asking me a lot of questions, right, how you do that and all that. But in my mind, right, some plan, right, outline of the plan was ready, right? I told them that it will go in these stages, right? And a complete system, right? We'll design it, right? We'll tender it. Somebody has to implement it, right? So then somebody asked me, what will be the cost of the project, the total implementation? So I told them that in the next meeting, I will tell you the complete cost estimation, right? Then we worked for 7 days and we come out with some cost of around 120 to 140 crores, right? Complete project. Because you require a data acquisition system, you require to store the data, right? That means you require very good storage, right? And not only one database, but database has different characteristics, right? Because it's a multi-level database. So some data that will just come and go, right? That is for the short-term prediction. We will not store it, right? Will not store it, right? So a kind of memory database. So then we designed roughly, right? And we came up with the cost of around 120 to 140 crores, right? That time. And then this project, right? We have started it, right? So we were the main consultant, right, to this project. So we had done mainly the design, right, implementations, issues, right. We solved it, right, and that complete project, right, it was made, right. So I will just share my experience, the path of the design and implementation of these things, right. And we used a lot of things here, right. I used the SCADA, IoT, Oracle, data warehousing, Hadoop, Spark, right. You know anything, I use the computer organization concept, I use the operating system concepts, right? Then we use the networking concepts, right? Apart from this, other things like AIML and your data mining and statistics. The emphasis that I want to give it here is that the first is that when you will get some work, don't assume that it is from your domain, right? It is from your domain. If you say that, okay, I'm good in databases, then you should only get the work in the database, right? So you should not have this concept, right? You should be open for any problem. Second is that the expertise, right? Along with your expertise, suppose somebody says that I'm good in deep learning architecture, right? But you should be good in engineering, right? Engineering is different, right? And your expertise is different, right? So here I will give you the engineering aspect, right, in these projects. Because normally in computer science, right, I saw that what we are missing is, we are missing what? The engineering aspect of the education, right? Actually, I got my degree from electrical engineering, right, and I'm very fortunate for that. Post-graduation I had done in computer science from IIT Mumbai. But engineering, electrical, it has given me a lot of good engineering concepts, right? So I will correlate, right, all these things, right, in the project, right, with our curriculum also, right? What it is, how the design curriculum should be designed, right, to do all the things. Okay, so this is all about the project. Anybody wants to ask anything now, they can ask me. Otherwise, we'll move next. Yes. So what we have done is, we are having the heterogeneous data, right? We are having heterogeneous data. And if you want to make any ML model or AI model, right, you require some structured data, right? So what we have done is that we have first designed the abstraction for the data which the AI ML system will use, right? And what that we call it as a unified data format, right? We call it as a unified data format. So it is like that equipment, their parameter, their value, right? Their date, right? And their source. So that is roughly the unified data format. Then what we have done is that other database systems, right? We have written the converters for it. So the systems will acquire data, convert it, and putting into this system. So for us, right, we are working on what? unified data format, right? And this is the heterogeneous data, right? We are converting into what? Unified data format. Yeah, so different APIs are related, but that is simple, right? That is just simple, right? And for some data, we also designed this translation framework. It is not hard-coded, right? So we have designed a template how this data can be transferred, right? So our APIs that will read that template, read data, put it. So for the other data, we have just designed a template, not written the code. Manual data also were done right from the website interface, right? Because there is some test like gas decomposition test. Because what happens, this transformer is having the iron, right? That is called as the core, on which the copper bindings are there, right? So there is a copper, right? So you might have heard about the iron loss and copper loss, right? So, and on this winding, right, you are having the insulators. Insulation tape is there. What happens sometimes this, because of the voltage gradient, this insulation tape breaks and there is an interturn fault. So initially there was say 5,000 turns total, right? Then it is reduced to what, 4999, right? But then it will generate the heat on that. So transformer, it is all that is kept in what, oil. So once the heat is generated, then the gas they are emitted from that. So there is a gas meter that will detect it, right? That will detect it, and using the gas meter we can say that what can be the fault, right? So these are manual tests, right? But that we are converting into what? Unified data format, right? So I will just tell you how that is processed, right? How that is processed. And that means I, along with my team, right, we are read a lot of manuals how this complete system operates, right? That means all my team was having the computer science professors, right, and some industries, but I told them that, okay, you learn electrical also, right, because you should know all these things, right? Okay. So, any other question? Okay, we'll move to next. So once that target is fixed, now the target is fixed, right? So we are now having the gathered data. We are having the SCADA-based substation, means the your real-time voltages and current, right? Then there are some non-SCADA data, like some day they are having some events, right? Something like this, right? So they are recorded in the register. So we are in that data. Then MIS data is there. MIS data means when the transformer is purchased. Then before purchase, the lot of tests are done, right? And they are having those parameters also, right? And some transformers, that means normally they are giving the 5 years guarantee, right? There are some companies, that means when the tender is passed to procure the new transformer, then there was a guarantee clause in which it is compulsory that they should last for at least 5 years, right? Some companies, they are actually make their design so that they will last only for 5 years. But we have to also find out, okay, you have to make these parameters and then it will lasting for 5 years. But there are some companies like Bell, they are having very good transformers, 35 years, they're still working, right? So we have to also detect such companies also. That means for which companies the transformer is failing much, right? So we are having that AMIS data also, and then we are having some legacy system data also, right? So legacy data means the old data which is stored in some registers, files, right? Everything. So all that is the heterogeneous data, right? And for one substation, right, the daily data was estimated around at least 100 megabyte by one substation, right? And there are 700 substations, right? So you can multiply it, right? And that is the minimum data. And total there are 2800 number of transformers around, right? So all that data is coming into warehouse, right? All data is coming into warehouse. Then this data is generated there, say data generated in the Allapalli, right? But how it comes to the Mumbai, That is again challenge. That is a communication challenge. So what are the communication challenges? For some substations, they are connected with the fibers, optical fibers, but not all substations, right? Some substations, they are connected, right, by the, what you call the PLC communication, power line transmission communication. Means along with your power line, right, it is using some frequency to transmit the communication data. That is called as the PLC communication. Then we are having the also procured a service of the Airtel BSNL, right, to give the wireless kind of connectivity. So you see that the challenges are that, okay, it is heterogeneous data, it is heterogeneous communications also, right? So it is not only one communication channel, right? We are having what? Different communication channels also, right? So all that data, right, we have to store it there, right? All data that we have to store it there, right? So first is the data acquisition challenge, right? How it is done, right? So next. And then we have to generate the interpretations, right? That will handle all the things. Once data is there, right? Then we should handle the queries like your asset health analysis, right? For example, if I'm not feeling well, I will go to the doctor. He asks me, okay, you do test, right? Then he will ask me to, okay, test blood glucose, right? Then he take the ECG and all the things, and then he can say that, okay, your health is how much it is. You can say that what is my remaining life, right? How much it will last. So it is a kind of that thing, right? It is a kind of that thing. So that is the asset health analysis. Now, here, right, you are having the machine, you are having the parameters, and then you have to estimate what? The health, right? But how to give the interpretation, right? How to give the interpretation whether your health is good or bad? Because you are having, say, around 1,000 parameters associated with that, right? You're in the whole thought, but you have to give only one interpretation, right? So that was again a challenge for the model, because people will not see all the 1,000 parameters, right, on their system. What they will say that, user, just tell me what is my transformer status, whether it is medium, good, or bad, right? So there should be one strategic interpretation, right? So that interpretation should be what? It should be very small and precise, right? So on this model, right, this was another challenge, asset health analysis. Then there is a fault analysis also, right? Because there is some fault, right? Then very huge current will flow, right, for some time, and the circuit breakers will operate. But what happens sometimes, this circuit breaker is supposed to operate in the 30 milliseconds, right, in the fault. But if they operates on, say, 40 milliseconds, it will make the damage to the transformer. The damage will not be immediately seen, right? The damage will not be immediately seen, but it can be seen after 6 months, right? ऐसा अगर आप कुछ जिम वगैरह करते हो, राइट, ये जो स्टूडेंट्स है, और आपने बहुत बड़ा वेट उठा लिया, राइट, तो आपको इमीडिएटली तकलीफ नहीं देगा वो, राइट, 6 महीने के बाद वो तकलीफ देगा आपको, राइट, क्योंकि उसने हाथ भी डैमेज किया है, राइट। और ये मेरा खुद का एक्सपीरियंस है क्योंकि मैंने भी एक बार ऐसी बहुत बड़ा वेट उठा लिया था, राइट, और मेरे को इसकी तकलीफ 1 साल के बाद चालू हो गई थी, राइट। तो वैसे फॉल्ट का है, राइट, फॉल्ट का 30 मिलीसेकंड्स रेटेड है, उससे ज्यादा किया तो क्या होगा, वो इमीडिएटली नहीं दिखाएगा, बट इट विल शो द इफेक्ट आफ्टर व्हाट 1 ईयर, राइट। कहाँ भी उसका ना आइसोलेशन ब्रेक हुआ है अंदर में, right, all that things are there, and there is one system that is called as the AFAS system, right. So that is also we installed, right, at some substations, right. वो ये सब fault analysis, it will do that. Then the load flow studies, right. Load flow means basically for these are the different places, right, in which you are getting the electricity, right. So what will happen if some substation is stop working, right? So which area will be affected, right? So if some substation stops working, means there is a fault in the transformer, right? Or you have to make the transformer, right, taken out from the system for the maintenance, right? Then it will affect the area, right? But what happens? There is a parallel path, right, to supply the power, right? For example, Nagpur is coming the data power from, say, your Mankapur substation. Because there is some transformer which is having the maintenance problem, then it will take it from the Mankapur. Then it is supplied from the Ambassador. But then the load on the Ambassador will increase, right? Load on the Ambassador will increase, right? So that load should be such that it should not put a damage on the Ambassador, right? It should not put a damage on the Ambassador, right? So that is called as a load flow studies, right? So it is basically a graph kind of a network, right? And the algorithm problem is you take some node, right? What are the other paths that will be affected, right? Because of that. जैसा आप ये देख रहे हैं, अगर you are in the traffic, right? And your Bardi area is closed for the some road operation, क्या होगा? आप अल्टरनेट पाथ देखेंगे, उसमें ट्रैफिक बढ़ेगा आपका, राइट? और समटाइम देयर विल कंजेशन, राइट? वो ट्रैफिक इतना बढ़ेगा, राइट, तो कंजेशन हो जाएगा. So that should not happen, right? That should not happen, right? So that is basically the load flow studies kind of problem. So that is, and then you are having the trends. In which areas you are having the power consumption that is going to be increased, right? And this load that is there, right? That is of the two types. One is the active load, second is called the reactive load, right? So active load is like your lights, right? They are putting the load on, that is called as the active load. But if you run the motor, right, then it is the induction motor, right? That will increase what? Your reactive load, right? So normally in the villages, right, you are having what? Reactive load, because there are a lot of pumps, right? So we have to predict it. And why have to predict it? For example, I will say that near Gadchiroli now the active and reactive loads are increasing. It means what? It will increase. Why it is increasing? Because now a lot of steel industries are coming in Gadchiroli, right? So the active and reactive load will be increased, right, after some time. And then you have to put one more substation there, right? So these are some long-term calculations. So I had to predict it, okay, after 5 years, right, the load will be like this, right? So, and then the renewable energy generation, right? Because nowadays we are in the wind energy, right? On the Konkan belt, right? There is solar energy that is on the Vidarbha, right? Central Maharashtra, right? So these are some renewable energies and we have to increase it, right? But the nature of the renewable energy is what? It is not constant, right? It is not constant, right? So when there is an increase in the wind, the energy will increase. When there is a day, the renewable energy will be more, right? Then you have to shut down some small generators, thermal generators, right? So all such systems, right, we should be able to answer when to do all these things, right? So that is about the util should answer, right? So we decide the purpose of the project is like this. Next. And so this is just some challenges that we have put it, right? Okay, we have to implement a system. What are the current challenges, right? The first thing in the challenges means what? That why it is difficult to implement that system. That we call it as the problem challenges, right? For example, any paper, right? I expect the three things in the when I'm reviewing the paper, right? One is the say your paper idea. Second is what? Paper idea challenges, right? And third is your contribution to solve those challenges. So these three things are important, right, for reviewing any paper, right? So these are some challenges, right? These are there. That means there is no standard communication, there is no standard interface, right? There is no fault analysis for the historical data, right? So these are all the challenges, right? So we saw that, okay, these are the challenges, we have to overcome this, right? So the problem is now, you can say that it is having some path, right, of implementing it. First, we define the problem, then we analyze the system, and third is we put some challenges. Right? Okay, these are some challenges that we have to overcome. Okay, next. And then that means if the project is completely implemented, who will use it? These are called as the stakeholders, right? Who will use them, right? So these are the stakeholders, like planning people will use it, finance people will use it, production engineers, right? All they will use, right, this project. And all they are having the different queries, right? For example, in the finance, what they will ask, what will be my maintenance cost in the next year, right? And what is the implementation cost for one substation, right, in the coming years? Finance people will ask them. Operation people, what they will ask? Those who are handling the system on day-to-day basis, what they will ask? When this transformer needs maintenance, right? When I can take down that transformer, right? So these are some queries by the operational people, right? So all that we have formulated it. Okay, these are the users, they will use it. These are these queries, right? So all of you got it. That means how in the stages, right, it is moving, right? This project is, all of you got it, how it is moving, right? From one step, second step, third step, fourth step, right? And each, right? For each stage, we have make the documents. Because each time I have to present, right, the system to the Mumbai team. Okay, this is the first stage, this is done, this is done, right? Because all these are time-based project, right? Okay, next. Then we come with the solution, right? We come with the solution, how this conceptually, how this project should be implemented, right? And we are divided into two types. One is the phase 1 implementation, second is the phase 2 implementation, right? Because in some, right, we don't have a very good communication system, right? We put all that things in the phase 2, right? Phase 1, the purpose is that we are having the system, most of the things are ready. We'll make the model, right, and prove it. Okay, this is working. Once it is there, then you have to just repeat it, right? So this is the another stage, right, in the project implementation. You have to prove it on that, prove the concept, right? The concept should be proved. Okay, this is working, right? And now you extend it further, right? Otherwise, what will happen if I will put all the 700 substations at the first step, right? And some concept was not proved, right? Then the total investment will be lost, right? It will lose time also, it will use the cost also, right? So any big project, right? The first is what? The proof of concept, right? The first is what? Proof of concept, right? You have to gather, see the risk, right, in the project and everything, right? Once it is done, it has to be repeated. Okay. So anybody is having any question, right, on this case? Right? These steps are quite clear. Right? You see that first is the data acquisition system. Second is what? The transmission, how data is transmitted, right? Third is what? Transmission medium decision. Fourth is how to store the data, right? And fifth is what? On the data, what should be the modules, right? How I should get which modules I have to make? I have to make this data analysis and come with this interpretation. How I will get that answer? इसका आंसर कहाँ से मिलेगा? मेरे को क्या करना है? कहाँ से मिलेगा? वो बैकस्लाइड जाओ, बैकस्लाइड ये यहाँ से मिलेगा. सब लोग मेरे को बताएंगे, राइट? मेरे को ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए, राइट? We have made a lot of meetings with these people, right? So I visited around more than, right, 20 substations in the different areas in Maharashtra, right? I took the lot of meetings, right, with these people, right? And I got, okay, what they require, operation and maintenance, right? I sit with the finance people in the Mumbai, right? And ask them, okay, I want this. This tell, or that is that team, they was telling, okay, I want this, that I want this, right? So they give me the direction in which it should move, right? So you see that this stage will give the answer for what? Next stage, right? Next step. So what is data analysis software, right? That is originated from what? The previous, right? Then I have to decide, okay, they want these queries, either it should be done using the statistics, it should be done with the conventional data mining, it should be done with the conventional machine learning or deep learning, right? For example, I want that remaining life, right? So it is a prediction, right? It's a kind of what? Prediction. Then you can use some statistical methodology regression you can use for the prediction, right? You can see the time series analysis and put data in your recurrent neural network for the prediction, right? RNA, right? Time series data, right? So that algorithm, right? So that means what you have to use, that we have to decide afterwards, right? Once you know the nature of the data. Okay. Here I want to also one point to you that, right? What is most important in any AI ML project? Most important is what? Data. And in the data, what is important? Nature of the data and source of the data, right? जैसा मेडिकल डेटा अगर है तो आपको अलग algorithm यूज करना पड़ेगा. इसका डेटा IoT का डेटा है, अलग यूज करना पड़ेगा. मैनुअल डेटा एंट्री है, अलग मॉडल यूज करना पड़ेगा, राइट? तो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग? सोर्स ऑफ द डेटा, राइट? कहां से आ रहा है, राइट? So okay, that is there, right? So that is now divided into this thing next. Okay. So now we decide, okay, we have to do these things, but okay, we have done these things. How will measure it? It is good or bad, right? So okay, I can do a lot of things, right? But how will I be certified that okay, it is good or bad, or I will prove that it is good or bad, right? So for any system, right, you are going to have what? The system solution characteristics, right? So I will say that it is good. Okay, but you say that okay, I got the Nexon, Tata Nexon, right? I want to make it is good or bad. आप क्या करेंगे? हाँ? टेस्ट ड्राइव करेंगे आप. उसके बाद आप क्या क्या पूछेंगे उसको? उसका माइलेज कितना है? अगर ईवी है तो एक बार बैटरी चार्ज होगी तो कितना चलेगा, राइट? तीसरा, उसका मेंटेनेंस कैसा है, राइट? चौथा, ये कितने साल तक चलेगी, बराबर है ना? बाद में भी रहते कुछ, उसका एसी कैसे काम कर रहा है, राइट? उसका जो डैशबोर्ड है वो कैसा है, यानी इसको क्या बोलते हैं अपन? परफॉर्मेंस मेजर्स, राइट? तो इफ यू वांट टू से दैट इट इज अ गुड प्रोफेसर और बैड प्रोफेसर, राइट? तो यू मस्ट बी हैविंग सम परफॉर्मेंस मेजर्स फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स. लाइक आप क्या क्या यूज करते हैं? प्रोफेसर गुड है या बैड है, कैसे मेजर करते हैं आप? कैसे करते हैं? एक पैरामीटर बताओ. हाँ? अरे F1 स्कोर वगैरह वो बहुत टेक्निकल हो गया. ऐसे क्या बताते हैं? वो क्लास में रेगुलर आता है क्या? उसका पढ़ाना समझता है क्या? उनको ग्रेड्स बराबर देता है क्या? क्या? वैसे in my college I am very bad professor because I am not giving the good grades, right? मेरे काफी स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, उनको पता है बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है मेरे यहाँ ग्रेड लाने की, राइट? तो नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स मेरे को सब 5-6 ऐसी ग्रेड देते हैं आउट ऑफ 10, राइट? ठीक है, but that is I have not deviated till my method, right, of giving a very high grade to the students who are not studying, right? लेकिन एक कुछ तो परफॉर्मेंस मेजर है आपके पास, राइट? अब मैं भी अगर आपको एक सॉफ्टवेयर दूंगा, एक सिस्टम दूंगा, तो उसमें क्या रहेगा? कुछ परफॉर्मेंस मेजर रहेगा कि इसमें ठीक है, इसमें डेटा गारंटी है, आपका डेटा स्टोर्ड है, वो 100% गारंटी है वो स्टोर रहेगा करके, लॉस नहीं होगा, राइट। ड्यूरेबिलिटी, एक्सेसिबिलिटी मीन्स यूजर को जो क्वेरीज है वो उसको कैसे इजीली अवेलेबल है, राइट। तो मैं उसको बोलूंगा तो पाइथन का प्रोग्राम लिख और इसका डेटा निकाल, राइट। दोनों वैसे उसका क्वेरी सेटिस्फाई होगा, लेकिन दैट इज नॉट अ सोल्यूशन, यानी उसको सीधा सीधा दिखना चाहिए, एक्सेसिबल, राइट। सो वी डिजाइन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, राइट। देन सिक्योर चाहिए डेटा, कोई उसको हैक नहीं करना चाहिए उसको, राइट। डेटा सिक्योरिटी भी चाहिए। देन scalability is very important, right? Scalability means we designed a system for the hundreds of stations currently, it will work for 700 substations, right? और उसको वो बताएंगे इससे भी ज्यादा ऐड कर दिया, तो हमने बोला था इसको तुम ये डिजाइन को अब 2000 तक लेके जाओ, कुछ नहीं होगा, राइट। एटलीस्ट 40-50 साल आपके लाइफ में तो करनी नहीं पड़ेगी रिप्लेस सिस्टम, राइट। तो दैट इज द स्केलेबिलिटी इशू, राइट। And all these are the important characteristics, right, in the scalability. Then functional completeness. What is the meaning of functional completeness? जो भी queries है, right, all the queries, all that is required, right, that is answered, all queries are correct or not, right. मैंने completely किया, उसको किया कि नहीं किया है, right. Then you are in the performance, right. Performance means उसने रियल टाइम में अपने को रिस्पांस देना चाहिए। मैंने एक क्वेरी डाला और वो 2 दिन में दे रहा है आंसर, इट इज नॉट नो यूज, राइट। अभी मेरे को एक एक्सपीरियंस आया था, एक मेडिकल कंपनी का मैं काम कर रहा था, राइट। और उनका 400 हॉस्पिटल्स में इंस्टॉलेशन है। उनका प्रॉब्लम था कि उन्होंने मेडिसिन का मास्टर बनाया है, राइट, जैसे एमोक्सिलिन 5 mg। लेकिन वो हॉस्पिटल वाले क्या करते हैं, जब उनका डालते हैं तो उसका स्पेलिंग एक तो थोड़ा अलग डालते हैं, राइट, या 5 mg की जगह कुछ तो भी लिखेंगे। और अब उनको क्या करना है कि ये दोनों मैच करने हैं, राइट, कि उनका जो हॉस्पिटल का है और उनका खुद का जो मास्टर है इसमें मैच करना है उनको। 2 अलग-अलग स्ट्रिंग है, राइट, 2 अलग-अलग स्ट्रिंग है। यानी ये क्या हो गया बेसिकली, 2 स्ट्रिंग हाउ दे आर नियर टू ईच अदर। कौन सा एल्गोरिथम है? एडिट डिस्टेंस का कौन सा एल्गोरिथम अपन यूज करते हैं? एल्गोरिथम्स कौन सा है? एडिट डिस्टेंस। एल्गोरिथम्स वाले कौन है यहाँ पे? एल्गोरिथम्स जो पढ़ाते हैं, जैसा देखो कि 1 स्ट्रिंग इज एबीसी, सेकंड इज द एबीडी, राइट। इसमें डिस्टेंस कितना है? 1 का, बिकॉज 1 string can be obtained from the other string by 1 operation. Operations which are there: insert, update or delete, right? अगर मेरे को 5 operations लगते हैं तो मैं क्या बोलूंगा उसको? डिस्टेंस 5, right? So the standard distance algorithm, right? They are having the MySQL database. Master is having 12,000 records and hospital is having around 8,000 records, right? So ideally, what I have to do the things for 1 record of hospital, I have to run all what? 12,000, right? Find out what? Minimum distance, I see that it is matching. Now I run that for 1 product in MySQL, right? I got the response in 36 seconds, right? I got response in what? 36 seconds, right? Now what will my total time? 8,000 into 36 seconds, right? कितने होते हैं total? In 1 day, you will have 1440 minutes, right? So it will take 2-3 days, right? I tried a lot of things, right, on that, right, in the MySQL, right? It was not, right, improve its performance. What I done is that, okay, you want that output now? I loaded that data in the Oracle, right? It gave me all 8,000, right, in 3.5 seconds, right? That means the scalability. फट से उसने रियल टाइम में मेरे को परफॉर्मेंस दे दिया, राइट। सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट। देन द एक्सटर्नल इंटरफेस, राइट, दिस इज अनदर थिंग दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन द इंजीनियरिंग प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट। यू आर हैविंग द सिस्टम दैट इज नॉट रन इन द आइसोलेशन। जैसे फैन है, राइट, ये आइसोलेशन में रन करते हैं क्या? नहीं है, राइट, क्योंकि इसको क्या क्या लगता है? इंटरफेस इलेक्ट्रिकल का लगता है, इसको रूम का साइज लगता है, उसको ब्लेड्स लगते हैं, राइट? तो इसको पूरा इंटरफेस से बाहर के सिस्टम से करता है। मैं इसको 10 मीटर का ब्लेड डाल दूं, चलेगा क्या? नहीं चलेगा, राइट? So always when you design the algorithms, you should know that it is not running in the isolation. इसका external interface कहाँ पे fit करना है इसका? तो in this kind of system, you should able to export data to the external system, right? And import data from what? External system, right? So for that you can write to the APIs, expose it, right? And do all these things, right? So external interface. Then the standards, right? So everything for all these things, right? There are some standards, right? These are there for systems, right? जैसा डेटा एक्विजिशन का डेटा कैसे रखना है, कितनी ड्यूरेशन का चाहिए, डेटा अगर तुम्हारा ब्रेकडाउन होता है सर्वर, तो डेटा कितने घंटे में मिलना चाहिए, राइट? सो दीज आर सम स्टैंडर्ड्स। यानी जैसा तुम्हारा सर्वर क्रैश हो गया, राइट? तो व्हाट इज द स्टैंडर्ड? इट शुड बैक इन 30 मिनट्स, राइट? जैसे एयरटेल का सर्वर क्रैश हो गया, राइट? तो उसने कितने टाइम में अप होना चाहिए सिस्टम? मैक्सिमम 30 मिनट्स। अब एयरटेल का नहीं होता है बिकॉज दे आर हैविंग द डेटा लोकेटेड एट द 3 प्लेसेस, एक गुड़गांव में, एक चेन्नई में, एक सिंगापुर में, राइट? और वो पूरा रियल लाइफ में, रियल टाइम में वो सिंक्रोनाइज होता है, राइट? क्योंकि एक बार उनका लॉस हो गया थोड़ा 30 मिनट्स का भी, तो उनका करोड़ों का नुकसान होता है, राइट? बिलिंग ही नहीं होता आपका, राइट? So all these issues are there, right? For that the standards are defined, right? Everything now, if you see that everything is standard, even this table is having some standards, right? Room का जो classroom table है उसके standards क्या है, उसका height कितना है, ये height देखो तुमको तरीका ही मिलेगा, right? उसका width कितना चाहिए, length कितना चाहिए, right? Everything is there, right? So standards, and another is what? Maintainability, right? I should make the system so that it can be easily maintained, राइट? जैसे आलापल्ली में भी अगर फॉल्ट हो गया तो भी वो जल्दी रिकवर होना चाहिए, राइट? तो मेंटेनेबिलिटी इज अनदर एस्पेक्ट इन द implementation of such systems, right? So all these are the essential system characteristics, and you have to prove that okay, this is maintainable. Why it is maintainable? Give reasons, right? It is abide by the standards. We are abiding the standards, right? We are in the durability. How we are taking the durability, like, right? हमने उसका बैकअप सिस्टम ऐसा बनाया है, right? So all these are system characteristics, right? Next. Then controllability means whether I should able to control the system, right? मेरे को हर मैंने पूरी सिस्टम बनाई है, मैं इसको पैरामीटर्स के साथ कंट्रोल कर सकता हूँ क्या, right? I don't want to everything is hard coded, right? तो मैं इसको easily भी controllable कर सकता हूँ, right? My algorithm interpretation will change according to my control parameters, right? जैसे आप न्यूरल नेटवर्क को कंट्रोल करते हैं, कैसे करते हैं? लर्निंग रेट रहता है आपका, राइट? और कौन सा पैरामीटर रहता है उसका? 3-4 पैरामीटर्स रहते हैं ना? हाँ, डीके नहीं रहता, और एक है, एक लर्निंग रेट है, टेम्परेचर एक रहता है, इपॉक्स रहते हैं, राइट? अब टेबल पे लाते हैं अपन, राइट? तो वी कैन कंट्रोल दैट परफॉर्मेंस, राइट? यूजिंग द वेरियस वेज, राइट? तो दैट इज द कंटेबिलिटी एंड रिस्क मैनेजमेंट। इसमें टोटल प्रोजेक्ट में कितना रिस्क है, राइट? और एक आधा फॉल्ट अगर गया हो गया सिस्टम में तो तुमको कितना रिस्क रहेगा, राइट? ऑल दे शुड बी डॉक्यूमेंटेड, राइट? रिस्क एनालिसिस एंड ऑल द थिंग्स, राइट? एंड देन वी आर हैविंग द लॉन्ग टर्म एनालिटिक्स। ये सब पूरा व्हाट वी हैव डन, राइट? ये दीज आर द सम ब्रॉड एरियाज, राइट, फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म एनालिटिक्स, राइट? जो जो उनका क्वेरीज है हमने उसको ब्रॉड एरियाज में डिफाइन कर लिया, राइट? एंड वी स्टॉक डाउन, राइट? एंड मेड ऑल दिस डॉक्यूमेंट्स, राइट? So इसमें all the that queries, right? Like prediction of the faults, right? Then prevention, अपन fault को कैसा prevent कर सकते हैं, right? All that we have made, right? The complete algorithms for that. Next. Okay. So anybody have any questions that you want to ask? अभी तक कोई इम्प्लीमेंटेशन स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है, राइट? अभी क्या हुआ है, सिर्फ डिजाइन की पॉलिसीज बन रही है, राइट? नाइदर ये कोई हार्डवेयर डिजाइन है ना कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डिजाइन है, राइट। अभी कुछ भी नहीं हुआ है, अभी सिर्फ क्या हुआ है, एक ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग लेके पूरा प्रोजेक्ट का एक लेवल का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हो गया है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट कैसे मूव करेगा, राइट। ओके, देन वी हैव done, right, for various, right, aspects, right, we have done this for this presentation, right. Just I give how we have make the asset health management system, यानी उसमें बहुत सारे systems हैं, लेकिन वेदर ट्रांसफार्मर का हेल्थ कैसा है, राइट, हमने उसको कैसे डिसाइड किया, उसका मॉडल कैसे बनाया, राइट. So that now we'll discuss, right. This is a one sample case study, right, for it. So what we have done is that we are divided, right, the say for transformer we are divided, right, into number of groups, right, based on its parameters, right. The first we call it as the external health, right. The open circuit test, short circuit test, right, whatever we have done, right, they are generated parameters. Similarly, we are having the 70 total test, each is having around 20 to 30 parameters, right. So for all that, so in isolation, right, उसका health कैसा है, right, उसका health कैसा है, right. तो जैसा देखो कि मेरा आइसोलेशन में आई एम हैविंग गुड हेल्थ, राइट, लेकिन मेरे को इसने बोल दिया यार कि तुम्हारे बेटे का परफॉर्मेंस बहुत खराब आ रहा स्कूल में, राइट, वो पासिंग इस पे है, राइट, तो मेरा स्ट्रेस बढ़ जाएगा, राइट, मेरा स्ट्रेस बढ़ेगा तो मेरा हेल्थ भी अफेक्ट होगा, राइट. ओरिजिनली माई हेल्थ इज गुड, आई डोंट हैव ब्लड प्रेशर, आई डोंट हैव शुगर, लेकिन मेरे को स्ट्रेस आ गया तो क्या हो जाएगा, मेरा ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ जाएगा, राइट, स्ट्रेस बढ़ जाएगा. अभी बहुत पेरेंट्स अभी हो गए हैं, राइट, सबको पता बच्चों के प्रॉब्लम्स कितने रहते हैं करके, राइट. अभी अपने जैसे अच्छे बच्चे नहीं है कोई. एवरीथिंग इज स्ट्रेस जनरेटिंग किड्स, राइट. तो अपना वो ऐसा ट्रांसफॉर्म का भी रहता है, राइट. उसका इंटरनल हेल्थ अच्छा है, लेकिन उसे फॉल्ट तुम पास किया, राइट, 40 मिलीसेकंड्स के लिए 30 के बजाय, तो उसमें क्या आएगा, स्ट्रेस आएगा, राइट. तो उसका कितना कितना उसमें स्ट्रेस आया है, राइट, क्योंकि वो एक रिकॉर्डिंग सिस्टम है, ये ट्रांसफॉर्मर से फॉल्ट करंट कितना पास कितने टाइम के लिए हुआ है, राइट, दैट वी आर रिकॉर्डिंग, राइट. तो इससे हम क्या गैस करेंगे, उसका एक्सटर्नल हेल्थ कैसा है, राइट. देन वी आर हैविंग द डिस्टर्बेंस, बीच बीच में डिस्टर्बेंस आते हैं, राइट. सो हाउ दिस डिस्टर्बेंस विल अफेक्ट द ट्रांसफॉर्मर हेल्थ, right. Then transformer is connected to what, circuit breaker, right. It is circuit breaker is connected to what, battery. अब मैं इसका तुमको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, राइट. ऑल ऑफ यू नो द हिंदी ना, हाँ. तो 2017-18 में हमारा एक डिजाइन ये चालू था, राइट. तब वो साल कुछ तो भी 15 ट्रांसफार्मर्स बस्ट हो गए थे, राइट. वो क्यों हुए तो हमने फाइंड आउट किया, उसमें ट्रांसफार्मर का फॉल्ट नहीं था, राइट. तो क्योंकि फॉल्ट आ गया तो क्या होता है, सर्किट ब्रेकर ऑपरेट होता है, राइट. सर्किट ब्रेकर फट से ऑपरेट होता है. सर्किट ब्रेकर भी अच्छा था, राइट, लेकिन सर्किट ब्रेकर को सप्लाई करने वाली बैटरी, क्योंकि सर्किट ब्रेकर को सप्लाई होता है वो लाइन से नहीं होता है, क्योंकि लाइन तो फॉल्ट में गई ना, तो उसको सप्लाई किससे करना पड़ेगा, बैटरी से करना पड़ेगा, राइट. तो उसमें से जो बैटरी बैंक थी, राइट, कभी 200 के बैटरी बैंक थी, राइट, उसमें से 20 बैटरीज जो है उनका वोल्टेज डाउन था. तो फॉल्ट आने के बाद क्या हो गया, इसने सप्लाई नहीं किया, राइट, इसने सप्लाई नहीं किया तो सर्किट ब्रेकर ऑपरेट नहीं हुआ, ऑपरेट नहीं हुआ तो क्या हो गया, ट्रांसफार्मर बस्ट हो गया, राइट. यानी ट्रांसफार्मर की कॉस्ट है 40 करोड़, सर्किट ब्रेकर से 5 करोड़, बैटरी की कॉस्ट है 70-80 लाख. तो 70 लाख का जो था कड़ी वो तो बड़ा वीक था, तो क्या हो गया, उसने पूरा इतना लॉस किया, राइट. तो उसका एक्सटर्नल कंपोनेंट्स कैसे काम कर रहे, इसलिए मैंने बैटरीज लिखा है वहां पे, राइट, क्योंकि हमने पूरा स्टडी किया था. उसके रिले कैसे काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि फॉल्ट आ गया तो रिले पहले डिटेक्ट कर लेता है उसको, राइट. तो रिले बराबर काम कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है, राइट. तो ट्रांसफर की हेल्थ तब अच्छी रहेगी तब जब उसके एक्सटर्नल इंटरफेस कंपोनेंट्स अच्छे रहेंगे, राइट, नहीं तो उसकी हेल्थ अपन अच्छी नहीं बोल सकते उसका, राइट। तो हमने उसको पूरा ऐसा डिवाइड कर लिया उसका, राइट, हर पैरामीटर्स को, उसके इंटरनल हेल्थ पैरामीटर्स यानी खुद का, एक्सटर्नल स्ट्रेस यानी बाहर से, राइट, और थर्ड क्या है, वो जिससे करेक्ट हो रहा है, जो उसको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, राइट, वो कैसे है, राइट। तो हमने उसको पूरा डिवाइड कर लिया इसको, राइट। नेक्स्ट, हर एक के लिए हमने पूरी उसकी टेस्ट निकाल लिया, राइट। ट्रांसफर इंटरनल हेल्थ के लिए मैं कैसे असेस करूँ उसको, राइट। तो दे आर इन द वेरियस टेस्ट, राइट, और हर टेस्ट के दे आर जनरेटिंग द पैरामीटर्स, राइट, और हर पैरामीटर का एक वैलिड रेंज रहता है, राइट। जैसा अपना ब्लड प्रेशर है, कितना वैलिड रेंज है, 80 120, राइट, कितना है 80 120, राइट। अब सबको दिख रहा है पीछे से या फ्रंट बड़ा करना पड़ेगा, राइट। तो ये सब मिला के उसमें, ये तो बहुत सारी टेस्ट है, मैंने नाम नहीं दिए हैं, लेकिन पूरी टेस्ट किया हमने तो ये 20 40 50 टोटल 80 टेस्ट होती है इसकी, राइट। ये सब इंटरनल हेल्थ के लिए, हर टेस्ट का ऑन एन एवरेज, राइट, करीबन 10 से 20 पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, राइट। तो देयर इज अ ह्यूज डेटा, राइट, देयर इज अ वेरी ह्यूज डेटा फॉर वन ट्रांसफार्मर, राइट। ऑल ऑफ यू गॉट इट क्लियर कि उसको अपन ने मॉडल कैसे किया है करके, राइट। तो ये जो डिजाइन है वो सबके लिए सेम रहेगा। नाउ वी आर हैविंग द कार, right? Many students they will operate in the car industries after some time, right? On the machine learning thing. तो कार में भी ऐसे ही होता है, right? Car is now computer, right? Lot of things it is have the sensors. They are getting data from the all sensors in the car, right? उसमें एक Linux machine है कार में, right? और Linux machine क्या करती है, उनके क्लाउड पे डेटा डालती है, right? उससे वो बताता है यार तुम्हारी कार ठीक है नहीं है, right? और उससे वो बताती है यार तुम कार को गैरेज में लेके आ जाओ, राइट। जैसे BMW, रोल्स रॉयस, राइट, इनके सबके ऐसे मॉडल्स हैं अभी, राइट। अभी ये जो मॉडल है जो कार के लिए यूज कर रहा है, इट इज सेम मॉडल दैट इज यूज्ड फॉर द बॉडीज आल्सो, राइट। तो मेरा एक स्टूडेंट है, ही इज हैंडलिंग he is located in the Chicago and he is the head of the IT for the one company which is handling 400 hospitals. So that company, what they are doing is that they are one body chip. They are putting in their client, right? बॉडी चिप को क्लाइंट पे डालते हैं, उसका स्पॉन्सर कौन करता है, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, क्योंकि अमेरिका में हेल्थ इज वेरी कॉस्टली, राइट, सब इंश्योर्ड चाहिए, और इंश्योरेंस कंपनी क्या चाहती है, ये आदमी की हेल्थ अच्छी रहे, इसको इंश्योरेंस की जरूरत ना पड़े, तो वो क्या करती है, इसके अंदर चिप लगा दो और उसका डेटा तुम मॉनिटर करो, इसका ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ रहा है ना, उसको हॉस्पिटल में बुला लो, राइट, उसका हार्ट बीट्स ठीक नहीं है, उसको एक बार चेकअप के लिए बुला लो, right? So the same model is here also, right? Same model is here also, right? कि you have to do the things in this way, right? तो हमने वो पूरा ये निकाला पूरा टेस्ट, right? We have studied all the tests, right? And control all with these parameters, right? तो ये हमारा डेटा एक्विजिशन का पार्ट चालू है, right? Next. तो how we process the data? ये टेस्ट डेटा का हमने क्या किया, फिर हर एक का वैल्यूज रीड किया, उसकी एक्सेप्टेबल रेंज देखा क्या है, राइट। इफ इट इज नॉट इन द एक्सेप्टेबल रेंज, राइट, हमने उसका जो स्कोर है दैट वी आर रिड्यूस्ड इट और इंक्रीज्ड इट। इफ इट इज इन द रेंज देन इट इज हैविंग से 100 मार्क्स, इट इज आउट ऑफ द रेंज वी गिव देम द 90 मार्क्स 70 मार्क्स, हाउ मच इट इज आउट ऑफ द रेंज, राइट। तो हर एक का क्या किया है, हमने हर टेस्ट के लिए, राइट, हर पैरामीटर के लिए व्हाट वी हैव डन, हमने उसका एक स्कोर बनाया, राइट, इसका स्कोर बनाया, राइट, कि ये ऐसा ऐसा स्कोर आ रहा है, राइट। और किसी का अगर स्कोर ज्यादा होता है तो यहाँ पे हम एक अलार्म सिस्टम जनरेट कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, राइट, वो तुरंत अलार्म दे देगा, राइट। तो जनरेट करेगा तो फिर वहाँ का प्रोडक्शन इंजीनियर उसको आएगा, राइट, उसके जो बॉस है उसको भी आएगा, राइट, यानी प्रोडक्शन इंजीनियर को भी पता चल गया उसके बॉस को आया है तो अपने को करना ही है, राइट। तो उसको तुरंत हमने एक अलार्म जनरेट किया, उसका रिजल्ट आ गया, इट इज आउट ऑफ द रेंज, जनरेट डाला, राइट। ऑल द IoTs एंड ऑल, राइट, ऑल दिस रिक्वायर्स ऑल दिस थिंग्स, राइट। तुम्हारा अलार्म मैनेजमेंट कैसे होना चाहिए, राइट। तो जैसा डेटा आ गया तो ये अलार्म जनरेट हो गया, राइट, और उनका एक स्कोर भी निकलेगा, राइट। ऑल वी गॉट इट, राइट। आपको क्लियर हो गया कैसा उसको मॉडल किया है करके हर एक को, राइट। चलो नेक्स्ट। हाँ, तो इसके बाद हमने एक पहला एनालिसिस कर लिया कि इतने ट्रांसफार्मर्स का ये टेस्ट के लिए, राइट, पास हो गया है, इतने टेस्ट के लिए वो बाउंड्री पे है, और इतने टेस्ट के लिए वो फेल हो गया है, राइट। इसका एक डैशबोर्ड बनाया और तुरंत वो डेटा दिखना चालू कर दिया, राइट, ये ऐसा ऐसा है करके, राइट। और कहाँ पे क्या होता था कि द टेस्ट वेर आल्सो नॉट कंडक्टेड एट ऑल, राइट, क्योंकि जैसे आलापल्ली है उसको पता है कि कोई देखने वाला नहीं है, राइट, तो वो टेस्ट ही नहीं कंडक्ट करता था, राइट। तो ऑल दिस थिंग्स नाउ दे आर नाउ रिप्लेस विद द टेक्नोलॉजी, राइट। अब इसको जाएगा, अरे तूने टेस्ट नहीं किया तो टेस्ट कर, राइट। सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट लेवल एनालिसिस दैट वी हैड डन, राइट। नेक्स्ट। हाँ, ये बाकी पूरा ये है उसका क्वेरीज जो हमने डैशबोर्ड से आंसर करने की कोशिश किया, राइट। सो यू कैन रीड वन और टू दीज थिंग्स, right, and you know that how it is connected with the your user perspective. Anybody have any doubt till now? Yes, because this data is on the substation, tests are carried out in the substation, they are writing in their registers, and now we are putting that into website, right. So it is a manual entry. अभी जो है ये जो गैस टेस्ट है उसका एक गैस एनालाइजर रहता है, वो ऑनलाइन रियल टाइम रिपोर्टिंग करता है, लेकिन उसका कॉस्ट 35 लाख है, राइट। और ट्रांसफार्मर क्या है, इट इज अ स्लोली डिकेइंग डिवाइस, राइट। स्लोली का मतलब है उसका पैरामीटर्स बहुत ज्यादा चेंज नहीं होते हैं, राइट। तो हमने सोचा कि उसका 35 लाख 700 सबस्टेशन यानी 2800 को कॉस्ट बहुत बढ़ती है, यहाँ भी बहुत सारा कॉस्ट इश्यूज होते हैं, लेकिन हमने कहाँ पे लगाए हैं वो, हाँ, राइट, हाँ हाँ, क्योंकि वो करना ही पड़ता है। मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि डेटा सोर्स है तुम्हारा हरदम रियल टाइम नहीं रहेगा, राइट। वो तुमको हर स्टेज में करना पड़ेगा, राइट। और उसके लिए हर एक को इंटरफेस लगा है, जैसे गैस एनालाइजर है वहाँ पे, राइट, उसका डेटा कहाँ पे है, IoT गेटवे पे है, वो तुरंत भेजता है डेटा, राइट। वहाँ पे गेटवे है तो गेटवे एक्वायर करता है और डेटा भेज देता है, राइट। लेकिन जो बाकी जहाँ पे है वहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं, उसको मैन्युअली एंटर करने का प्रोविजन रख देते हैं उसको। तो उसके बाद देन हमने उसको क्या किया था कि ये जो उसके टेस्ट थे पूरे, राइट, हर एक को वेट दिया हमने, हर पैरामीटर टेस्ट यानी इसको हमने वेट दिया, और हर एक का एक वैलिडेशन उसका एक स्कोर था कि कितना उसका पैरामीटर वैलिड है और कौन सा इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट। उसके ऊपर हमने वेट दिया, राइट, एंड देन वी मेक वन मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल, राइट, दैट विल इंडिकेट दैट द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फेलियर, इससे प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फेलियर कितनी है, राइट। और ये जनरली क्या होता है कि ये वेट्स भी थोड़ा सब्जेक्टिव है, राइट, बट वी हैव मेड द प्रोविजन दैट दिस वेट कैन बी डायनामिक बिकॉज वी आर हैविंग द history of some test and failure of that, but for each it is not failing, it is not failing, right. So that data transfers which are working normally, we don't have their idea about how it will fail, but past history, right, that we use for making this correlation, right. So हमने पूरा उसका ये लिया, एंड देन हर एक ट्रांसफार्मर का आ गया आपके पास, राइट, इसका रेट ऑफ फेलियर्स कितना है, देन हमने उसका स्टैटिस्टिक्स बनाया कि आपके 2800 ट्रांसफार्मर्स है, उसमें से 2300 बहुत अच्छे हैं, राइट, बाद में 100 थोड़ा टुवर्ड्स फेल्यूर है और बाकी मीडियम पे है, उसमें मेंटेनेंस लगेगा, राइट। तो ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर डन इन दिस वे, राइट। नेक्स्ट, ये पूरा ऐसा हमने उसका ये बनाया, राइट, और उसका हमने उसका ईयरली प्रोजेक्शन भी एक मॉडल बनाया था कि उसका ईयरली में कैसा इंक्रीज होगा या डिक्रीज होगा, राइट, कि जैसा उसका हेल्थ आज अच्छा है, नेक्स्ट ईयर में भी है, लेकिन तीसरे ईयर में थोड़ा डिटेरियोरेट हो गया, चौथे ईयर में भी थोड़ा डिटेरियोरेट हो गया, राइट। तो हमको लगा ठीक है अब ये बहुत डिटेरियोरेट हो गया ये ट्रेंड, तो ये 5 साल के बाद ये फेल हो सकता है, राइट। तो रिग्रेशन टाइप ऑफ मॉडल दैट वी आर यूज, राइट, फॉर दैट, राइट। नेक्स्ट, तो हमने उसका फिर उसका प्रेडिक्शन लिया कि उसका 23 में कितना रिमेनिंग लाइफ रहेगा, 24 में कितना रहेगा, 25 में कितना रहेगा, राइट। तो इससे क्या होगा कि दे कैन यूज फॉर द प्लानिंग, कि अपने को इतने ट्रांसफार्मर्स अपने को 2 साल के बाद रिप्लेस करने हैं, इतने ट्रांसफार्मर 3 साल के बाद रिप्लेस करने हैं, राइट। तो वी मेक द मॉडल, राइट, सो दैट नाउ इट इज स्टार्ट आंसरिंग व्हाट द यूजर क्वेरीज, राइट। Okay, anybody wants to ask anything on this? All of you got it clear how the things are moving, right? In which steps? But next strategy एक मिनट ठेवाई थे. चलो, और किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हैं मेरे को. अभी देखो इसमें क्या यूज हो रहा है, इसमें क्या यूज कर रहा हूं मैं, मैथमेटिक्स यूज कर रहा हूं, एआई और एमएल यूज कर रहा हूं, राइट. अर्ली इसमें मैं क्या यूज कर रहा था, डेटाबेस यूज कर रहा था, राइट. उससे पहले इसमें मैं क्या यूज कर रहा था, आईओटी यूज कर रहा था, राइट. उससे में भी मैं क्या यूज कर रहा था, नेटवर्किंग यूज कर रहा था, राइट. और सबसे पहले मैं क्या यूज कर रहा था, इंजीनियरिंग यूज करता था, राइट. तो बेसिस क्या है अपना पूरा एजुकेशन का, क्या है, कहां से चालू होगा, इंजीनियरिंग से चालू होगा, राइट. अब मैं कोई कंप्यूटर साइंस स्टूडेंट हूं, मैं उसको बोला तू फैन डिजाइन करके दे मेरे को, करके दूंगा क्या, हाँ, करना चाहिए, क्यों नहीं करना चाहिए, हाँ. ये देखो आपके पास आंख है, ब्रेन है, सुनने की शक्ति है, आपको क्या करना है, उसका पढ़ाई तो करना है थोड़ा, क्या पढ़ाई करके तो इतना तो कर सकते हैं ना, ये फैन डिजाइन में क्या क्या होगा, मैं क्या प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व करूंगा, राइट. ये तो इतना कर सकते हैं ना ये लोग, क्या. लेकिन अपने मन में ठान लिया कि ये मैं नहीं कर सकता, मेरा फील्ड नहीं है, तो कभी नहीं होगा, राइट. ये कभी नहीं होगा काम, राइट. जब अपन एजुकेट होते हैं, राइट, तो हमारा डिग्री क्या रहता है अपना, बीटेक इन कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियरिंग, राइट. उसमें क्या रहता है, इंजीनियरिंग रहता है, राइट. तो अपन ने एक सोच चाहिए हमेशा कि मैं ये काम कर सकता हूं. जब मैं ये चालू किया था प्रोजेक्ट, तो मेरे में तो पूरा डायनामिक्स मेरे को पता नहीं था, राइट. लेकिन मेरे को ये पता था कि ऐसी सिस्टम्स कैसे डिजाइन होती है, राइट. आई गॉट राइट द इंजीनियरिंग कंसेप्ट इन दैट. और मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि ये मैं इंजीनियरिंग कंसेप्ट कहां से सीखा. तो हमारा पहले एक प्रोजेक्ट चालू था कॉलेज के एमआईएस बनाने का, राइट. ये इट इज वे बैक इन 1998. और हमारा एक प्रोफेसर थे, प्रोफेसर सीमल करके, फ्रॉम मेटलर्जी, राइट. वो उसके हेड थे कमेटी के, मैं एक मेंबर था उसका, राइट. तो एक बार मैं बैंक गया था, वो भी आए थे. तो मैंने बोला सीमल को, सर एमआईएस अपन ऐसे से डिजाइन करेंगे, राइट. तो वो बोले तू ऐसा कर, बोले मेरे पास में बैठ, बोले तेरे पास नोटबुक है क्या, मतलब है. तब मैं बहुत यंग था, 98 मीन्स आई वाज हार्डली अराउंड 32, राइट. तो उन्होंने पास में बैठ बिठाया, उन्होंने बताया पहले ये डायग्राम निकाल, बोले, राइट, कौन कौन से यूजर्स है, राइट. दूसरा डायग्राम निकाल, बोले ये कम्युनिकेट कैसे करेंगे, राइट. तीसरा डायग्राम निकाल, बोले डेटा फ्लो कैसे होगा, राइट. ऐसे उसने 5 डायग्राम निकाले उसने, राइट, इन 15 मिनट्स, राइट. 5 डायग्राम निकाले. He was very senior professor and very good engineer, right, consulting to Tata Steel and lot of industries, right. तो he was from metallurgy, जैसे पीछे ही है गूगल का, मेटलर्जी सा है, राइट. लेकिन he is good engineer, राइट. तो उन्होंने मेरे को पास में बिठाया, 15 मिनट में उसने मेरे को जो इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ाया, राइट? वो मेरे कोई कॉलेज में नहीं पढ़ाता है, राइट? वो 15 मिनट का जो इंजीनियरिंग है, वो मेरे इतने में मैंने प्रोजेक्ट्स किए बाद में, सब मैंने वो बेसिस पे किए। वो सिर्फ 15 मिनट का जो एजुकेशन उन्होंने दिया था तब, राइट? उन्हें पूरा बताया कि सिस्टम का एब्स्ट्रैक्शन कैसे करना चाहिए। सब फैन है, उसका तुम डेटा एब्स्ट्रैक्शन कैसे करोगे, राइट? इसको मॉडल में कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करोगे, राइट? सिर्फ 15 मिनट्स ही एक्सप्लेन मी ऑल द थिंग्स, राइट? उसके बाद मैंने बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स किए। 132 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट मैंने डिजाइन किया। उसके बाद मेरे को ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट मिला दैट वाज फॉर 100 करोड़, राइट? दैट आई डिजाइन फॉर द automatic meter recording system for the same company, right? In which we acquired data from the around 7,000 meters, right, from the substations and put it on the database, right? तो वो भी प्रोजेक्ट मैंने डिजाइन किया हुआ यहाँ पे, right? It was the first in India. That project was the first implemented in the Maharashtra, right? But I got that knowledge, right, that from that professor, right? And he just gave me the 15 minutes, right, in the bank, right? स्टेट बैंक में हम बैठे थे, राइट? तब मैनुअल सिस्टम थी, तब देर लगती थी, तुम्हारे पर्ची दे दो फिर कैश निकालो, राइट? लेकिन वो सिस्टम अच्छी थी क्योंकि मेरे को 15 मिनट में इतना नॉलेज मिल गया तो मेरे को जिंदगी भर काम यार अभी भी आ रहा है, राइट? अभी मैंने बहुत सारे इस पे काम किया, फॉरेस्ट के प्रोजेक्ट्स किए, वाटर के प्रोजेक्ट्स किए, राइट? एंड ऑल आई यूज, राइट, दोस 6 डायग्राम्स, राइट, दैट ही मेड ऑन दैट डे, राइट? तो इंजीनियरिंग में मेरे को ऐसा लगता नहीं कि कोई ऐसा बहुत हार्ड काम है करके, राइट? हाँ, अगर आपका वो स्पेस शटल वगैरह है तो दैट इज डिफिकल्ट, बट दिस वर्क्स आर नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट, राइट? वंस यू गॉट द इंजीनियरिंग, राइट, देन यू कैन डू ऑल द थिंग्स, ठीक है? तो ओके, ये देखो वो पूरे कंसेप्ट में मेरा चल रहा है काम, राइट, ऑन दैट थिंक, राइट, थिंकिंग पॉलिसी उस पर काम किया है। नेक्स्ट, देन वी मेक ऑल दिस हार्डवेयर आर्किटेक्चर, राइट? कि कौन कौन सा हार्डवेयर लगेगा, कहाँ कहाँ पे स्टोर होगा, जहाँ पे तुमको बहुत जल्दी तुमको आंसर चाहिए वो कौन सा डेटाबेस रहेगा, जहाँ पे आपका स्काडा का डेटा है, राइट, जो बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म इसके लिए यूज होगा है, वो स्केलेबल भी चाहिए मेरे को, उसके लिए कौन सा आर्किटेक्चर होगा, राइट? तो वी डिजाइन, राइट, बेस एज द ओरेकल डेटाबेस, देन वी यूज द हडूप सिस्टम आल्सो, राइट, बिकॉज इट इज स्केलेबल फॉर द यूज डेटा। और सिस्टम जब आप हार्डवेयर डिजाइन करते हैं तो आपको स्केलेबिलिटी इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इन द हार्डवेयर आर्किटेक्चर, राइट? तो स्केलेबिलिटी क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? क्योंकि ये मेरा 120 अराउंड सबस्टेशंस के लिए काम कर रहा है। मेरे को डायरेक्टर ने बोला कि मैं अगर 700 बना लूँ तो इसमें चेंज करना पड़ेगा क्या, ये रिप्लेस करना पड़ेगा? मैंने बोला नहीं, इसको तुम ऐड करो, यानी तुम्हारा इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉस्ट जो है वो वेस्ट नहीं जाएगी, राइट? इसलिए मैंने वहां पे क्या लगाया, हडूप लगाया। अभी मैंने उसको 40 नोट्स डाले हैं, मैंने बोला बाद में अपन उसमें 100 नोट्स डालेंगे, और बढ़ गए तो अपन 400 नोट्स डालेंगे, राइट? और हडूप नोट्स कैसे रहते हैं? दे आर लो कॉस्ट मशीन्स, राइट, बट दे आर इन द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फ्रेमवर्क, राइट? तो आई स्टडीड ऑल दैट हडूप काइंड ऑफ डेटाबेसेस। फिर मैंने बोला फिर ओरेकल उसको कनेक्ट कैसे करेगा, राइट? Then I studied the connectivity between the Oracle and Hadoop also, right? So Oracle and Hadoop are कैसा, they will talk to each other, right? So that also I studied, right? I studied the other database like Cloudera एक था, right? Then पहला front end में सोचा था Hive करके, but Hive was slow, so then I suggested Spark architecture, right? Use the Spark architecture because Spark is having very good query optimization, right? So we have just designed the storage like this, और ये जैसा ये स्काडा का डेटा है वो बहुत ही फास्ट आता है यहाँ पे, राइट? दैट इज कमिंग वेरी फास्ट। अब वो मेरा प्राइमरी डेटाबेस है क्वेरीज के लिए, तो क्या हो जाएगा, वो डेटा ट्रांसफर जो स्काडा का डेटा है वो स्लो हो जाएगा, राइट? तो उसका मैंने क्या किया प्रोविजन कि उसको एक सर्वर बनाएंगे RAC दैट कैन हैंडल अ वेरी ह्यूज ट्रैफिक, वहां पे रखेंगे उसको, उसका जो डेटा लगता है वो अपन एंटरप्राइज सर्वर में ट्रांसफर करेंगे, राइट? तो बिकॉज ऑफ योर टाइम इंटेंसिव क्वेरीज, राइट, योर रियल टाइम परफॉर्मेंस और सिस्टम शुड नॉट अफेक्ट, तो इसका बराबर कंपार्टमेंटलाइज किया, राइट। एंड देन हमने उसका पूरा ऐसा हार्डवेयर आर्किटेक्चर बना के, राइट, देन उसको वेब बेस्ड इंटरफेस दिया, राइट, यहाँ पर। देन द client can be the desktop also, it can be mobile also, right? So this is the way in which the complete hardware system is done, right? Next, उसके बाद इसका सॉफ्टवेयर आर्किटेक्चर एसआरएस भी बनाया, राइट, दैट विल से कि पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर का स्पेस कैसा है करके, राइट। अभी ये पूरा है, अभी कुछ इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ है, राइट, इट इज ऑल द डिजाइन डॉक्यूमेंट्स, राइट, and we made all this, presented this, but it is approved, and now it was tendered, right, and it is got completed, right. Next, ये पूरा हमने डॉक्यूमेंट्स इसके इतने रीड किए थे उसके, राइट, पूरा इलिटिकल सिस्टम था पहले पेज में, राइट, जिसमें देयर वर अराउंड 2000 3000 पेजेस, राइट। तो मेरी टीम में पूरा उसको रीड किया, अंडरस्टैंड किया, राइट, कम विद दिस, राइट, एंड देन दीज आर कंप्यूटर साइंस थिंग्स, राइट। और उसके बाद में जो है कुछ एनालिटिक्स के भी है, राइट, जैसा तो मैंने अल्पाइदिन का एक बेसिक यूज किया था। दिस बुक इज वेरी गुड, स्टैटिस्टिक्स फॉर मैनेजमेंट, राइट। अगर आपको डेटा एनालिसिस पढ़ना है, मशीन लर्निंग कोई भी पढ़ना है, तो इसका द फर्स्ट कोर्स इज दैट द स्टैटिस्टिक्स, राइट, स्टडीज फॉर मैनेजमेंट, राइट, दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी गुड बुक, राइट। वो पढ़ के मजा आ जाएगा, यानी दोज हु आर एंजॉयिंग द स्टडी, राइट, दे कैन रीड दिस बुक, राइट। तो दिस इज व्हाट, राइट, द प्रोजेक्ट इज conceptualized, design is made, right, and implementation path is given to this project, right. Anybody wants to any questions? इसको कुछ पूछना है? और अभी मैं आपको बताता हूं कि इसको आप पूछ लो। या इट इज कंप्लीटेड, अभी उसका टेस्टिंग वेस्टिंग चालू है थोड़ा, राइट, क्योंकि इसमें हिस्ट्री का डेटा है, उसके ऊपर जो एनालिटिक्स था वो थोड़ा रिफाइन होने में टाइम लगता है उसका। 2 years not for completion, right, 2 years for that stage। उसके बाद वो टेंडर हो गया और उसके बाद हमारा वो इंट्रोडक्शन चालू हो गया उसका, क्योंकि इट इज वेरी ह्यूज वर्क ना, राइट, इट इज वेरी ह्यूज वर्क, राइट। इट विल टेक अराउंड 1 year, क्योंकि ये जो प्रोजेक्ट था ना, इसमें बहुत सारा ये था चैलेंजेस। इसके साथ साथ हमने एक एमआर प्रोजेक्ट भी चालू किया था कोरोना काल में, राइट, वो भी इस टाइप का ही था, बट उसमें वॉल्यूम बहुत था लेकिन डेटा एक ही था, राइट, और उसका एल्गोरिथम्स काफी डिफाइंड थे, राइट। वो भी इतने कॉस्ट का प्रोजेक्ट था, राइट। वो हमने कोरोना जैसा खत्म हो गया 22 के अराउंड, वो पूरा कंप्लीट हो गया, राइट। अभी इसका पूरा कंट्रोल रूम वगैरह में पूरा है, यानी नाउ द थिंग्स आर पीपल आर यूजिंग दैट, शोइंग इट, राइट। पूरा एनालिटिक्स दिखता है कंट्रोल रूम में, पूरा दिख रहा है अभी उसका। चलो, अभी इसमें ये पूरा प्रोजेक्ट का किया मैंने, राइट, उसके ऊपर what are the things that I got in my brain, right, which I used, right. So that is the another thing that I want to correlate, right, कि if you are having something in the brain then it will come, right। इसके लिए मैंने क्या किया कि एक जैसा अभी I am in board of studies for a lot of engineering colleges, and there are very, what you can call it as the thinking, right, वो काफी जंप हो रही है कि इसको ये पढ़ाना है, ये नहीं पढ़ाना है। जैसा आप फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट से तो आपको भी क्वेश्चन आता है कि हम इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग क्यों पढ़े, हम थर्मोडायनामिक्स क्यों पढ़े हैं, राइट। ऐसा बहुत सारे ये है, राइट। अभी मैंने एक बहुत प्रेस्टिजियस कॉलेज है मुंबई का, मैं उसके बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज था, उसका मीटिंग हुआ तो उन्होंने कंप्यूटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही हटा दिया, बोल इसको इलेक्टिव रखेंगे। तो मैंने बोला यार तुम कंप्यूटर साइंस पढ़ा रहे हो और जिसको पता ही नहीं कि मशीन कैसे चलती है तो क्या करेगा, मतलब ये बंदा, राइट। तो जैसा मैं आपके भी बीओएस में हूँ 2-3 डिसिप्लिन्स के, राइट, आरकेएनएससी के इसमें हूँ, राइट, गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में हूँ, राइट, तो एनआईटी वारंगल में भी हूँ, राइट। तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स। तो फिर मैंने क्या किया था, मैंने जो मेरे इंडस्ट्रीज के कुछ सीनियर फ्रेंड्स थे, तो मैं बोले कि अपने बैठ के स्टैंडर्ड स्कीम निकालते हैं कि अपन इसको क्या क्या पढ़ाना चाहिए, राइट? तो मैंने एक स्कीम निकाली कि जो नॉलेज अपने को देंगे अपन, वो कहाँ से भी उसका अच्छा यूज होना चाहिए. The people should able to handle or design such kind of projects, right? अब इसमें एक ये है कि नॉर्मली स्टूडेंट्स में भी रहता है कि अपन जो पढ़ते हैं वो इंडस्ट्री में यूज नहीं होता है करके, राइट? ये आपके भी दिमाग में भी होगा, सर आप हम पढ़ते हैं तो कुछ यूज नहीं, बराबर है ना? हाँ, तो इसका भी मैं आंसर देता हूँ, राइट? तो व्हाट यू डिग्री यू आर गेटिंग, लेकिन बेसिक डिग्री क्या है? इंजीनियरिंग है, बीटेक इन इंजीनियरिंग, राइट? अब मेरा एक दोस्त है, कभी बड़ी इंडस्ट्री चलाता है, राइट? वो हमारे बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज में था, ही इज फ्रॉम आईटी मुंबई. मैंने उसको क्वेश्चन बोला कि ये क्वेश्चंस क्या, तो बोलते हैं हमको पाइथन पढ़ाओ, हमको एंगुलर जेएस पढ़ाओ, ये पढ़ाओ, वो पढ़ाओ. तो उसने मेरे को एक अच्छा आंसर दिया कि ये देखो, हम एक बिल्डिंग है बोले, इसको बनाने के लिए कौन कौन से स्किल्स लगते हैं? क्या लगता है उसको? मेसन्स लगते हैं, प्लम्बर्स लगते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिशियंस लगते हैं, साइट इंजीनियर लगता है, डिजाइनर लगता है, राइट? हम आपके जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट से हम इंजीनियर्स और डिजाइनर्स एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं बोले, आप हमको मेसन्स और प्लम्बर्स मत दो. आपको क्लियर हो गया है क्या? आपको क्लियर हो गया कंसेप्ट कि आपको उनको अच्छा एनालिटिकल माइंड वाला पर्सन बनाओ, ट्रेनर मत बनाओ, बिकॉज देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन द लर्निंग एंड ट्रेनिंग, राइट? ये दोनों में डिफरेंस है. मैं आपको एक जावास्क्रिप्ट का कोर्स पढ़ा दूं, राइट? वो क्या हो गया? ट्रेनिंग हो गया, उसमें लर्निंग नहीं है. लेकिन राइट, थिंकिंग किस में आएगा? जब आप लर्न करेंगे, राइट? यू शुड एबल टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट? इसलिए अगर आपको इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ा रहे हैं ना, तो उनको गलियां मत मारो, पढ़ो अच्छे से, राइट? मैकेनिक्स पढ़ा रहे हैं ना, पढ़ो अच्छे से, क्योंकि उसमें जो आपके ब्रेन के डायमेंशन जो जनरेट होंगे, दैट कैन सॉल्व लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स इन द एल्गोरिथम्स, राइट? तो इसलिए हमने बैठ के फिर क्या किया, एक करिकुलम डिजाइन किया, स्टैंडर्ड करिकुलम, जो दोज हु कैन डू और हैंडल सच काइंड ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स, राइट? तो नेक्स्ट बताओ. तो हमने एक इसका स्कीम बनाया कि ये फर्स्ट ईयर नॉर्मली कॉमन है, राइट? और फर्स्ट ईयर में भी आजकल फैशन हो गई कि तुम मैकेनिक्स हटा दो, इंजीनियरिंग ड्राइंग हटा दो, वर्कशॉप हटा दो, राइट? मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन, ये सब पढ़ाओ, राइट? जब आप उसको कारपेंटरी पढ़ाओगे तो उसका स्किल्स डेवलप होगा, हैंड स्किल डेवलप होगा, राइट? उसको एक सिस्टम दिखेगा, क्या उसको एक कुछ तो बन रहा है, ये दिखेगा उसको, राइट? जैसा फिटिंग कर रहे हैं आप, राइट? वो ये रहता है घिसने का, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, अपन वो जॉब में फिक्स करते हैं उसको, वो ये करते हैं फिटिंग के लिए, उसको 4-4 दिन लगते हैं एक कंपोनेंट बनाने के लिए, राइट? तो मैं सोचा ये सब पढ़ाओ उनको, राइट? लेट देम वर्क हार्ड, राइट? जैसा 45 डिग्रीज में भी वो उतने वर्कशॉप में काम करते आना चाहिए उनको, राइट? उनको ऐसा नहीं लगता यार मैं काम नहीं कर सकता हूँ, राइट? तो वो सब पढ़ाओ फर्स्ट ईयर में, राइट? हाँ, लेकिन सेकंड ईयर से मैंने ये डिजाइन किया कि तुमको प्रोबेबिलिटी पढ़ाओ. प्रोबेबिलिटी क्यों पढ़ाना चाहिए? वो एमएल का बेस है, राइट? ये पूरा इसका बेस है प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स, राइट? आपका न्यूरल नेटवर्क पूरा किसमें डिजाइन है? प्रोबेबिलिटी और थ्योरी और स्टैटिस्टिक्स. भले ही वो लगेगा आपको यार ये कुछ यूज नहीं होगा, ये यूज होगा, राइट? थिंकिंग के लिए ये यूज होगा, राइट? देन डिजिटल सर्किट्स पढ़ो, राइट? अपना कंप्यूटर कैसे काम कर रहा है, राइट? उसमें क्या क्या कंपोनेंट्स है, ये सब पढ़ना चाहिए आपने, राइट? वो इनसे इंटरेक्ट कैसे करते हैं. डेटा सेट तो आपका वो बेस है, राइट? वो भी आप पढ़ो. लैंग्वेज पढ़ो, लैंग्वेज सी लैंग्वेज पढ़ो अच्छे से, राइट? आप बाद में जावा जैसा पढ़ो लैंग्वेज, एक ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड है. देन यू कैन लर्न द अदर लैंग्वेज लाइक गो, स्काला, राइट? ये भी एक पढ़ लो, ऐसा एक वेरिएशंस आ जाएगा आपके इसमें कि कैसे कैसे हो रहा है करके, राइट? देन वे प्रोग्रामिंग, राइट? इट इज यूज्ड, राइट? कि इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे होगा. तो इसमें यू कैन यूज द front end like HTML, AngularJS, CSS, and all the things, right? JavaScript, right? That you can learn, that you can cover in this team, right? Next, अब डिजिटल सर्किट्स पढ़ लिया तो आपको ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पढ़ने में आसान हो जाएगा, राइट? लीनियर अलजेब्रा को पढ़ना है, क्यों पढ़ना है आपको? क्योंकि आपको एबल डीप लर्निंग पढ़ना है, राइट? वो पूरा लीनियर अलजेब्रा के ऊपर बेस्ड है, राइट? उसको ये मत समझो कि यार ये कुछ काम का नहीं है, वही काम का है, राइट? और इंडस्ट्री में अभी जो है, अगर रेडीमेड सोल्यूशन है तो आपकी जरूरत नहीं है, राइट? रेडीमेड सोल्यूशन नहीं है तो आपकी जरूरत है, राइट? और वो निकालना है जरूरत तो ये लगेगा आपको, राइट? ऑल दिस थिंग्स यू रिक्वायर, राइट? Then algorithms पढ़ो, discrete maths पढ़ो, right? Web programming, now you can have the backend programming, right? Like web services, right? In Java you can do the Python and all the things, right? अब ये जो है ये हमारे कॉलेज से भी हट गए हैं, 2 कोर्सेस हम उसको इलेक्टिव में रख दिया है, लेकिन पहले कंपलसरी था, राइट? कंट्रोल सिस्टम विल बी यूज्ड एक्सटेंसिवली इन द फ्यूचर, क्योंकि आपका डेटा भी आएगा IoT से, राइट? IoT में सिर्फ डेटा लेके क्या करेंगे? कुछ कंट्रोल भी करना पड़ेगा ना, तो कंट्रोल सिस्टम को वही पड़ेगा. Next 6-7 years, right? You require good control system engineers, right? ये सिर्फ डेटा आने से कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको एक्शन भी करना है ना, राइट? तो कंट्रोल सिस्टम तो लगेगा ही, राइट? तो ये सिग्नल एंड सिस्टम भी बहुत अच्छा कोर्स था, राइट? लेकिन वो भी हमारे इसमें भी नहीं है, बट इट इज ऑल्सो वेरी गुड कोर्स, राइट? नेक्स्ट, अभी थ्योरी ऑफ कंपटीशन यू कैन लर्न, ऑपरेशन तो चाहिए, कंपाइलर्स चाहिए, ये कि सब तुम्हारे थिंकिंग के अलग अलग डायमेंशंस हैं, राइट? The data which cannot be processed by the normal conventional deep learning that can be used by the constructor of the compilers. ऐसा भी डेटा कुछ होता है जिसके प्रॉब्लम से आप कंपाइलर से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, राइट? एंड रिमेंबर दैट डीप लर्निंग एंड मशीन लर्निंग दे आर ऑल नॉन डिटरमिनिस्टिक टेक्निक्स, राइट? इंडस्ट्री में यू रिक्वायर द डिटरमिनिज्म, राइट? अभी भी आपको 90% केसेस में व्हाट यू रिक्वायर, दैट ओके दिस इज द डिटरमिनिस्टिक सिस्टम, राइट? इसका आउटपुट फिक्स्ड है, प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक नहीं है, राइट? Then you can introduce the machine learning here, right, on the 5th semester, right? Neurophysiology and all, right? That is just the introduction, right, for the machine learning, deep learning kind of things, right? So you can introduce that. That is the electives, right? Next, आएगा आपका next. हाँ, अभी database the prerequisite data structures, organization, OS, right? Statistics. All that is the prerequisite for the database system. It's a very beautiful course, right? Why it is beautiful? Because that is the only course which is related with the system and which is related with the user. ये कोर्स है दोनों को कनेक्ट करता है, राइट? और ये सबसे चैलेंजिंग कोर्स है, राइट? इसमें सबका नॉलेज यूज होता है, राइट? देन सिक्योरिटी के लिए यू शुड नो द सिक्योरिटी, देन नेटवर्क्स, right? That is also very important because you have to design the network systems also, right? और इसका theory बहुत पक्का चाहिए, right? It is not that कि आप PPT पे पढ़ लिया, right? या कोई छोटा बुक लेके पढ़ लिया, ऐसा मत करो, right? Use the proper textbooks, right? क्योंकि मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में मैंने पूरे concepts use किए थे, all things that I used right here. Next, बाद में then you can use the electives and all the things. Right? But this sequence and these courses, right, that is very important, right? ये जो हमने पूरा डिजाइन किया, इसमें कहाँ पे भी सीक्वेंस का लॉस नहीं है. मैं पहले OS पढ़ा रहा हूँ, बाद में ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पढ़ा रहा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है. पहले आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पढ़ाओ, बाद में ही OS पढ़ाओ, और कंप्यूटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होने के बाद, OS होने के बाद ही आप डेटाबेस पढ़ाओ. सेकेंड ईयर में आजकल डेटाबेस डाल दिया तो यूजर क्या करेगा, या स्टूडेंट क्या करेगा? उसको ना मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट पता है, ना उसको इंडेक्सिंग पता है, क्या पढ़ के करेगा? वो सिर्फ प्रोग्रामिंग करेगा थोड़ी सी, राइट? तो इसलिए हमने क्या किया, ये स्टैंडर्ड हमने सेट कर लिया, राइट? और जहाँ पे भी मैं BOS में बोला कि यू कैन यूज दिस स्टैंडर्ड. अब मैं इनको इन्फोर्स नहीं कर सकता हूँ, राइट? मैं सिर्फ भेजता हूँ कि ये हमारी पॉलिसी गाइडलाइंस है, यू फॉलो दिस, राइट? क्योंकि मैंने जो काम किया है रियल लाइफ में, राइट, बिकॉज मैक्सिमम टाइम आई स्पेंड lot of work on the practical projects, not on the very academic or research projects, जहाँ पे डिलीवरी हुई है कुछ ना कुछ, राइट? और वो डिलीवरी का कुछ वैल्यूएशन हुआ है, राइट? कुछ मेरे को पैसा मिला है उसमें, कि जब पैसा मिलेगा तो मैं बोलूँगा इसका वैल्यूएशन हुआ है करके, राइट? तो और मेरे को ये सब काम में है, सब एवरीथिंग आई यूज्ड, राइट? स्टैटिस्टिक्स भी यूज किया, ऑपरेशन रिसर्च भी यूज किया, राइट, एवरीथिंग आई यूज्ड, राइट। ओके, सो और किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हैं, राइट, देयर विल स्टॉप। एंड थैंक्स फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी, राइट, फॉर दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस, राइट, एंड आई होप दैट यू आर नॉट बोर्ड because this is not a conventional, I told you that it is not a conventional kind of, right, talk that I will do, right. Anybody wants to ask any question, they can ask me, right. कौन सा? हाँ, यहाँ पे जो है, यहाँ पे 2-3 चीज है, राइट। एक तो पाइपलाइनिंग पता चाहिए आपको, राइट, और पैरेलल पता चाहिए, राइट। ये क्यों पता चाहिए? क्योंकि आपका जो एआई और एमएल मॉडल्स है, राइट, जिसमें एनवीडिया का अपन प्रोसेसर वगैरह यूज करते हैं, जीपीयूज एंड ऑल द थिंग्स, उसका ये बेस है, राइट, पहली बात। दूसरा है, अपने एलएलएम मॉडल यूज किया क्या, चैट जीपीटी? उसका प्रॉम्प्ट का स्ट्रक्चर देखो आप कैसा है, राइट। तो प्रॉम्प्ट अगर बहुत बड़ा रहा तो ये काम नहीं करेगा, राइट। प्रॉम्प्ट अगर बहुत बड़ा रहा तो काम नहीं करेगा, राइट। तो उसको क्या करना पड़ेगा अपने को, एक प्रॉम्प्ट का इनपुट लेके दूसरा जनरेट करो, वो इनपुट लेके फिर तीसरा जनरेट करो, राइट। उसको बोलते हैं सीक्वेंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। ये पाइपलाइनिंग से होता है, राइट। इसके पूरी जब एंटरप्राइज में अपन फीड करेंगे तो ये पाइपलाइन बनानी पड़ेगी, यानी पहले जॉब का आउटपुट, राइट, का पहला स्टेज, राइट, और दूसरे जॉब का आउटपुट का सेकंड स्टेज, ये आपके पैरेलल में चलना चाहिए, वो दोनों इंडिपेंडेंट है, राइट। तो जैसा प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग हो गया, राइट, वहाँ पे आपको पाइपलाइनिंग की कंसेप्ट पता चाहिए, उसको फिर एनवीडिया के प्रोसेसर पे कैसे फिट करना वो भी पता चाहिए, राइट। इसलिए सब मेरे को लगता है कि ये अच्छा कोर्स है। जो कोर्स तुम्हारे ब्रेन को तकलीफ दे, दैट इज अ गुड कोर्स। जिसमें आसानी से ग्रेड मिल गया वो आपको कुछ काम का नहीं है, ध्यान में रखो, उसको कोई वैल्यू नहीं है। इसमें कुछ भी काम करके आपको ए ग्रेड मिल रही है, वो सोच लेना कि वो 4 साल के बाद कुछ काम नहीं करेगा, वो सिर्फ आपका ग्रेड कार्ड अच्छा करेगा पेरेंट्स को दिखाने के लिए, राइट, लेकिन इंडस्ट्री में उसका कोई यूज नहीं है। जो कोर्स आपको तकलीफ, सबसे बड़ा आलस कौन सा रहता है? सबसे बड़ा आलस कौन सा रहता है? सोचना सोचने का आलस सबसे बड़ा है, बाकी कोई काम का आलस उतना नहीं रहता है। आदमी सोचता ही नहीं है, उसको आलस रहता है वो। इसलिए जो कोर्स आपको तकलीफ दे रहा ना वही समझ लेना अच्छा काम, राइट। एंड यू हैव टू बी इंजीनियर्स, राइट। आपको भी स्टूडेंट्स को इंजीनियर्स बनाना है, राइट, उसको आपको लेबर नहीं बनाना, ये ध्यान में रखना। उसको अच्छे से पढ़ाओ, अच्छा डेप्थ में पढ़ाओ, अच्छा कॉम्प्लेक्स पढ़ाओ, उसके ग्रेड्स कम कर डालो, राइट। ये सब आप करेंगे ना तो आपके स्टूडेंट्स अच्छे रहेंगे। बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, हमारे कॉलेज में भी होता है कि अब हम भी अच्छे ग्रेड्स देते हैं क्योंकि प्रेशर भी रहता है सोसाइटी का, राइट, बट दैट इज नॉट अ गुड थिंग, राइट। तो अभी बहुत सारे केसेस है कि वो लड़के को 9 पॉइंटर है, उसको जॉब नहीं मिल रहा है, राइट। फिर वो लड़का डिप्रेशन में है कि उसके पेरेंट्स आते हैं, बोलते हैं यार इसको तो इतना अच्छा स्कोर है, पर इसको कुछ नहीं आता है, उसको 9 ग्रेड ऐसे ही मिल गया है, राइट, कि उसको नहीं मिलेगा वाला जॉब, उसको पढ़ाई करना चाहिए और तब मिलेगा उसको, राइट। अभी वो उतना कोरिलेशन नहीं है, वी डोंट हैव अ गुड कोरिलेशन बिटवीन देयर ग्रेड एंड स्किल्स, राइट, और थिंकिंग एबिलिटी, राइट। तो ये आपको स्टूडेंट को भी बताना है, उसके पेरेंट्स को भी बताना है, राइट, और उसको कन्विंस भी करना है एज ए फैकल्टी, राइट। ये आप लोगों की जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि उसको टाइट रखो, उसको हार्ड वर्किंग बनाओ, राइट। उसको फर्स्ट ईयर में अपन बोल देते यार उसको 9 पॉइंटर्स आ गया, तो उसको सब में 9 देते हैं, जब उसको वो फ्यूचर लाइफ में कुछ फेलियर हो गया तो पूरा फ्लैट हो जाता है, राइट, क्योंकि उसको फेलियर्स उसने कभी देखे नहीं है, राइट। वो उसको 10वीं में भी आजकल 95% लेके आता है, 96% आता है, राइट। तो हमारे टाइम में 90% सिर्फ मेरिट 1 को ही मिलते थे, राइट, सब जमीन पे रहते हैं, राइट। मैं जो स्कूल में था, मैं तो एक छोटे गांव में था, राइट. हमारे जिसमें 70 स्टूडेंट्स थे, उसमें से 5 लोग पास हुए थे, राइट, 10वीं में. बाकी सब फेल हुए थे, राइट. और मेरे को कुछ तो भी 85% थे, राइट. आई गॉट 85%. मेरे जो उसके सेकंड रैंक था उसको 67% थे, थर्ड को 61% थे, राइट. बाकी दोनों सेकंड क्लास में थे, बाकी सब फेल थे. तो लेकिन वो लड़कों को जिस फेलियर मिल गया, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि वो प्रोग्रेस नहीं हुए. Some of them, they have progressed very well, and in the society, right, they are also now at the top. क्योंकि उन्होंने फेलियर्स को सस्टेन किया है, right? Okay, so we'll stop. Anybody wants to ask anything? Otherwise, we'll stop. Thanks again, right? Okay.
थैंक यू सर. बस थैंक यू ही बोलूंगी, बाकी तो समझ गया. So thank you very much for accepting the invitation and coming and giving an insightful lecture. Thank you, sir. Committee members and staff, please proceed for lunch. Even students also.